Awards since 2006. IIHS Top Safety Awards include Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards to Hyundai vehicles from 2006 to 2025.
Lease a Hyundai Tucson for only $259 a month or get 3.99% APR for 72 months. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer. Offers end June 2nd. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp recently surveyed over 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it's wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. At BetterHelp, they have over 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. We're all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout today for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/timeout.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Flashy discounts, gimmicky sales? Don't fall for it. At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, we give you honest, wholesale pricing all year long. No bogus markups, no tricks, just the best floors at the best prices. Call 866-62-FLOOR. No sale beats wholesale. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, check them out at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
For the best prices on hardwood carpet and more, call 866-62-FLOOR.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
And it is 1 o'clock in the Southland on the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland. And it's time for Let's Talk About It on Sports Graffiti like we do every day at this time. Sponsored by our friends at BetterHelp. Mental health is health. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout today for 10% off your first month of therapy. BetterHelp.com/timeout. Now let's do it. Let's talk about it on Sports Graffiti on Mason and Ireland.
All right, Trudell's going to punch up the calls. Every line jammed. 877-710-3776. Mike, go for it.
Yeah, just saying, if you want to make me feel worse about Manchester United, please don't. Okay, please don't call in with that. Let's go to Mitch. You're on Sports Graffiti. What's that? What do you got for us?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, Mitch. How are you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, great. Thanks for taking my call. So it sounds a little crazy. Our daughters are getting a little old. I know there's been a lot of injuries, but Bichetti. I don't think they have a lot of leverage. They're not going to sign long term. I'd love to have C. Bichetti playing our infield. It really help our lineup. I think Muncy has it.
Thanks for the phone call, Mitch. I think, Mike, they have to get some reinforcements at the trade deadline. Andrew Friedman normally does that. But if they're just going to sit here and watch the injuries cripple the team, it doesn't work. So they got to go get somebody.
Yeah, I hear you. Like to me, by the trade deadline, we'll know how injured these guys are, and then they can act accordingly. All right, Danny, Sports Graffiti time for you. What's up?
Hi, Danny.
What's up, guys? Hey, John. I don't know if you touched on this yesterday, but I don't know if I'm sure you know. A couple of days ago was the last Sports Center from Los Angeles. What's going on? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah.
Is that going to affect you guys on the radio?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the phone call, Danny. The story is ESPN has basically pulled out of the LA Broadcast Center for financial reasons. They're consolidating all the sports centers back east. And as a matter of fact, they announced today they're going to do 50 remote sports centers in 50 different states over the summer. So they're going to take Sports Center on the road, and then all the other ones are going to be from Bristol. They'll still do NBA Today from the LA Broadcast Center, but no more sports centers from LA, and it does not affect the radio. Everybody that you listen to is staying here.
Henry, Sports Graffiti time. What's up?
Hi, Henry.
Hey, how you doing? Four-time caller. I just wanted to say hello. I'm sorry I don't have my Lakers to root for, but I just wanted to give it a shout-out. I called you guys last week for the Indiana Pacers. It looks like they're the team that's on the rise for the NBA. I'm sorry to see that the Ant-Man didn't come through yesterday, but I think he might just had some post-game jitters for his first big game as a superstar. How you guys doing?
All right, thanks, Henry. I think the Pacers could go to the finals. So, I mean, I would pick the Knicks if you made me pick them. It sounds like you'd pick the Pacers if I made you pick that series, but I think it's a coin flip. I think it could go either way.
Danny, Sports Graffiti time. What's up?
Hey, Danny.
Hey,
Hey, John, I've been a Lakers season seat holder since 1985.
Okay.
And I retired 10 years ago, and I started seeing the Lakers on the road a couple of times a year. I see them everywhere they play in the United States. I've seen them in 23 different cities.
Good for you.
And there's a lot of Laker fans, at every game too.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, Danny, and thank you for the call. In some of the seats we go to, there's more Laker fans than there are for the home team. Like the best example of that is Atlanta. When we go to Atlanta, it's like a Lakers home game.
Atlanta, Washington, Detroit.
Utah, sometimes when the Jazz are down, a lot of Laker fans take over the seats.
Yeah, I mean, but everywhere for sure. I think you're right. I think either Atlanta or Washington would probably be the most. All right, let's go to Mike. What's happening in Sports Graffiti?
Hey, Mike.
Good name.
How you guys doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
Fine. I'm going to give a question, you guys, and I'm going to hang up, listen to your answer.
Okay.
I think a memo needs to be sent to Dave Roberts. Conforto has played 46 games and has 6 RBIs. Tommy Edman has played 33 games and has 26 RBIs. And I just wanted you guys' opinion. Don't you believe that enough of the Conforto situation? Guys, have a great day.
All right, thanks, man. I think Conforto Brian, he's been showing signs of life over the last 2-3 weeks.
He has been doing a lot better, yeah.
And so they're trying to see if they can turn him into somebody that's useful.
I would give him a little more time.
Right, but I think when the playoffs start, he won't be in there very much. I mean, they'll probably have an outfield that is in some way, shape, or form. Pages, Edmund, Teoscar, and then they'll play Mookie and Hae-Sung Kim on the infield with Muncy and Freddie. So I think Conforto will be an odd man out, Mike, when the postseason starts. But in the regular season, you need guys who can eat innings, and hopefully he can find his stroke.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he had a good start to the season. Then he had this prolonged slump where he just can't get anything go. His numbers are terrible, like average terrible, on base, slugging, WAR, all of it's bad. But I'm still willing to give it a little time because they brought him in for a reason. He's got some skills. So let's just be a little patient if we can. I know it's hard. Ken, Sports Graffiti time for you.
Hey, Ken, what's up?
Well, I have to object. That last guy that was on read my post word for word.
you want Conforto out of there?
The 33 games by Tommy Edman, the 26 RBIs, the 6 RBIs by Conforto. That's exactly what I posted.
Tommy Edman's a stud, though.
With my mind open. Yeah. Hey,
right, but Ken,
Lakers.
but Ken, don't you agree with me that when the postseason rolls around, it's not like Conforto is going to be in the starting lineup. I mean, he's basically on the team as a role player, and you got to give him some at bats just to see if he can find his stroke.
Well, I think it might be a little more complicated than that. They paid $17 million, and I'm not saying that Andrew Freeman is so worried about his, some of the moves he makes, but I have to believe he went to the Dodger manager, Bob Roberts, and said, let's just leave him in there.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
There's no way any manager is going to leave a guy hitting 160 with 6 RBIs in a game under any circumstances unless he's told to.
Or unless it's Shohei and he's in like some major slump or something.
I don't know if that's possible. But yeah, fair call. We do want to shout out Tommy Edman, though. He's awesome. Okay. Ryan, Sports Graffiti time. What's happening?
I don't know if this has been said before, but I think I have the name for Johnny's boat.
Okay, what is it?
Worthy Splash.
Yeah, somebody else suggested that too. And
I like it.
He's late.
Yeah, I'll run that by Worthy, but more importantly, I'll run it by Lisa. What I figured out is that we have a pontoon boat. There's really nowhere to put a name on this boat, so it would just be a name we would call it that. It's not like it's going to be plastered on the side of the boat.
I could find a way. Go on Etsy or something.
Flag.
You hang a little sign. Oh, a flag is a good idea.
Yeah, we could do it that way.
I told you I wanted to name my parents' boat Water Jordan, but they objected to that. Mark, Sports Graffiti time. What's up?
Hey, Mark.
Hey, John, how you doing? I was trying to call yesterday. No, that is going to be fine. But that girl you had on, it was so funny. You know how she turned around and said, the one from the Sparks, you girls got to get used to it. It wasn't like this before. But yet, they still don't give Caitlin any credit whatsoever for lifting up the league. I was wondering, was it that way? I can't remember. Was it that way when Bird and Magic came into the league? And, I remember I used to watch the games, but you'd have to wait till the news was over to watch the game on the replay. You couldn't even watch it live.
Mark, I'll tell you what. I am stunned at how little the people in the league appear to appreciate what Caitlin Clark has done for the league. I mean, every time she's on TV, the ratings don't double, they triple. The price of tickets go through the roof. They have to change venues when she comes into town because they want to put her in a bigger building so they can sell more tickets. I don't get it. I understand part of it's racial. I understand part of it is the fact that she doesn't look like some of the best players in the league. But, I mean, Mike, how can you knock a woman? I mean, she's basically the Pied Piper. Everywhere she goes, it leads to money. She's a one-woman economy.
Yeah, I think that's, at least amongst some of her fellow players, that right there is the reason why there's some of the resentment, right? It's kind of like, oh, now you guys like the WNBA. So there's a human instinct in there that I can get behind, that I can understand, certainly not get behind, but I think it'll lessen as the years go on. Okay, let's go to Luis. What's happening?
Hey, Luis.
Sports Graffiti time.
Hey, guys, I know this is a Lakers station, so maybe you guys are not allowed to talk about LeBron, but in what world, can you explain to me in what world it makes sense to keep a 41-year-old and try to trade Reeves, a 25-year-old? Thank you, guys. Love the show.
Oh, sure. First of all, LeBron may be 41, but he's going to be an All-NBA player this year.
Yeah, he'll probably be All-NBA third team.
There's only 15 of them. So you don't want to get rid of an All-NBA player no matter what his age is.
He might be All-NBA second team.
And the reason that they would be more likely to trade Austin than LeBron is that that's the player every other team wants. Other teams aren't going to offer you the moon for LeBron because he's probably got 2 years left. Austin's got 10 to 15 years left.
Well, I would put it even more simply. I mean, LeBron has a no-trade clause. Okay, one of two in the league. Bradley Beal is the other. So that's it. And there's nobody that I've heard that it was like, oh, let's trade Austin Reeves. So just because there's speculation about Austin having value does not mean that the team wants to trade him. So there's nothing that I've heard along those lines that anybody's looking to trade Austin Reeves, who's been, of course, a great Laker. Adam, you're on Sports Graffiti. What's up?
Hey, Adam.
Hey, guys. Two things from last week, and then I'm going to say something about traveling on the road. John, you should name the boat Pocket Personality.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then also, there's a funicular downtown at Angel's Flight, Bunker Hill. You guys missed that when you were talking about how you get to and from the boat in Idaho.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, John, I want to thank you because my friends and I, we haven't done this as often as we'd like the last few years after COVID, but we've done 5 road trips to go see the Lakers, and we come see you and Michael every time, and you guys graciously take a picture of us, and Michael comments on how much fun we're having as opposed to saying how drunk we are, and can advocate that it is one of the best times to get your friends together. And if you're funny about it, road team fans are not. Like, we even had a good time with, like, a Boston fan pretty close to the court where, like, we were just kind of chirping each other, and then it turned into laughs. But my God, does it cost more to go to a Laker game, even on the road, than anywhere else? It's crazy just to get into the building at some of these places just because the Lakers are playing.
What's your favorite building that you've seen the Lakers playing?
MSG is unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's just from a basketball perspective.
Yeah, MSG is the closest thing to
we had the most fun in Memphis. Memphis was a lot of fun, going out like with the row of bars in front of the stadium, and then the fans were fun too.
Down there, here's the question, Adam: did you make your way to Gus's Fried Chicken when you were in Memphis?
We did, but we also loved Rendezvous, and then there's another barbecue place that we made it to. But
you guys did it right.
We always love coming to say hi to you guys.
All right, great. Well, thanks for calling, Adam. Appreciate it. Let's take one more, Mike.
All right, Adam knows what he's doing. All right, let's go to Johnny on Sports Graffiti. What's up, John?
Hey, Johnny.
Hey, good afternoon. Hey, it's ironic Caitlin came up because I was going to say, hey, how was Kelsey Plum yesterday? Oh, my goodness, that was a pleasure. My favorite MT story of cuisine, you guys were talking about it, is bringing ketchup to a steakhouse.
All the time.
Doesn't allow ketchup?
Yeah, he has ketchup will travel.
Johnny, what do you think about USC not spending NIL? Maybe they were afraid of all the stuff they were doing before, and then now they are.
It surprises me. I don't think Jaden Maeva is a bad quarterback. Maybe he'll turn out to be really good, but I thought they were going to go into the market and go get what they did with Caleb, go spend $4 or $5 million and get the best quarterback in the country and bring him in. Maybe they're not done. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm surprised. I still think, Mike, thanks for the call. I still think USC is going to win 10 games. I think they're good enough to win 10 games this year. And the main reason I say that is because of the schedule. The schedule is really easy. So, I mean, that would be part of it. All right, coming up next, the NFL made a ruling today that surprised a lot of people. And hockey does something at the end of every series that no other sport does. And I wonder why other sports haven't tried to copy it. We'll get into that coming up next. Mike Trudell in for Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
Wonder what that's all about. All right, double down with Cappy at the $10,000 Blackjack Tournament. It's June 6th at Park West Bicycle Casino. Sonato and Cap will broadcast live from 3 to 6 p.m., so join us and check in on the tournament. Say double down with Cappy at the player reward desk for free entry into the tournament. Reserve your spot with us now at ESPNLA.com.
Reminder that Let's Talk About It on Sports Graffiti is sponsored by BetterHelp. Mental health is health. Back up to this, ESPN LA.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. Get the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play.
Download, tap, and bam!
You got 710 ESPN in the palm of your hand.
Be sure to catch Let's Talk About It on Sports Graffiti, weekday afternoons at 1 p.m. on Mason and Ireland. Sponsored by BetterHelp. Mental health is health. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout today for 10% off your first month of therapy. BetterHelp.com/timeout.
Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino with a new owner, fresh renovations,
hey guys,
and upgraded?
Double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the player's reward desk, and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
It's time to make your yard the best on the block with Memorial Day savings at the Home Depot. Start by keeping the weeds at bay with Earthgrow Mulch, now 4 for $10. Then keep your garden thriving with Miracle Grow Garden Soil, now on special buy, 4 for $10. Give your neighbors yard envy all summer long with Memorial Day savings going on now at the Home Depot.
Mason and Ireland on 710.
I've got to be honest. I have no idea how you do it.
I'm not sure how I do
I
it.
would not. I don't. Would not be my scene.
More of Mason and Ireland right now.
All right, Mason and Ireland, Mike Trudell in for Mace, and you may have heard this already today, but it started leaking out last night that today was going to be the day that the NFL owners banned the tush push, the play where Jalen Hurts, the quarterback of the Eagles, tries a quarterback sneak, and then three guys behind him push him forward, and he gets the first down. Diana Rossini reported that they were going to ban it. Roger Goodell was in favor of banning it. They had the vote.
What happened?
You need 75%, so it needed to be 32 teams. It needed to be 24-8. It was 22-10, so the tush push stays. Did they get it right?
Of course not. Like, who likes the tush push? I guess the Eagles.
Right.
Does anybody else like it or like watching it?
I do.
You like watching it?
I want to see somebody come up with a way to stop it.
I just think that it's not fun to watch in any way, shape, or form. It also seems dangerous. Seems like guys just get
People
crumpled
keep saying
up on
that,
and
but,
rolled up on.
But Jason Kelsey, the former Eagles center, showed up today to lobby for this. Are the meetings in Minnesota? Somebody told me they might be.
I don't even know.
I think they are. And he showed up there, and he basically said, look, anybody who says the tush push is unhealthy, I was the center for the Eagles. I was the one person who was most likely to get hurt, and I've never been hurt on that play, ever.
All right. So if I give you the injury thing, which I guess is backed by evidence, I haven't seen a lot of injuries out of it, I will go back to my initial point, which is that when I'm watching football, anytime there's a tush push, I groan. I'm like, ugh, this is not fun.
No.
That's me. I don't know. If somebody loves the tush push, now you said that you like it because you want to see a strategic counter.
I want to see somebody stop it.
But just watching the play itself, does it not make you think this is like, this is kind of lame? No?
Well, Mike, if they didn't have the tush push, what they would do is just hand it off to a running back, and he would run right into the middle of the line. How is that more exciting?
Well, that's not it. Or pass the ball, right? Like there are just different options
when it's
to
fourth and less than one, you're going to pass?
Well, no, you do sometimes see, right? You see everybody line up in the middle, and then you see a bootleg, or you see like a running back curl around the back, or something like that. You can go to the outside as well when it's fourth in that short, just as kind of like a countermeasure. So I'm not a big fan of it, but I don't hate. This isn't one that I'm going to get up in arms about. Like almost anything with replay, I am anti-replay in almost every sport now.
Well, I've gotten to the point. I think you're on my side with this, and Michael and Mason and I are all in agreement. Mason and I never agree on anything. We're in agreement on this.
Yeah.
I would simply eliminate replay in all sports until the last 2 minutes of the game. Done. Over.
Got my vote.
It takes too long. It stops the flow of the game, and 90% of the time they screw it up anyway. So just get rid of it.
Yeah,
I don't understand why they don't.
And especially the only thing that I could understand, and I think the NFL has gotten a little bit better at this, is that some of the judgment calls, or the ones that can be determined by video, instead of having the officials go over, put on the headset, wait for the thing to play, say rewind, say go back, go forward, go back, go forward, and then 3 minutes later, after you and Michael are just irate, wondering why this great game has been slowed down, the replay official in New Jersey or New York or whatever just says confirm or deny the call in the court. In 5 seconds, and
right.
if you can't,
it never takes that long.
and if you can't overturn it, guess what? Call on the floor stands. That's it. So if you want to stop to review something, there has to be a clock, just like the pitch clock. In fact, what's the pitch clock? 10 seconds?
No.
15.
What is it now, Brian? 20, right?
20 seconds.
Yeah.
So 20, fine. I would rather 15 seconds, but if you want to go 20 seconds, but give me something where there's a time limit. You cannot go over this because it is for entertainment's sake. It is for the fans. There's my little mini soapbox.
All right, the other thing they were going to vote on today, and they pulled it right before they were going to vote, is something that you're a Vikings fan, so I'm very curious what you think about this. Last year, the Vikings had the second best record in the NFC. They were the 4 seed because they didn't win their division. The Lions had the best record in the NFC. So there was a proposal, the Lions put it forward, said they should base playoff seeding on record rather than where you finish in your division. Basically, it would have minimized divisions, and it didn't get any traction. When they realized they didn't have the votes, they just pulled it off the table. Where are you on that?
Well, in the NBA, divisions only really come into play for tiebreakers. And so
Right.
we knew this. So this was one of the reasons why the Lakers had the tiebreaker over teams like had Minnesota gotten up to tie them or Denver had gotten up to tie them. It was because they had a better division, or they had won the division and those other teams hadn't. So that to me is fine. I don't think that if your record is worse than a team that you should get a lower seed because of the division thing. So I do think it's kind of stupid, but the NFL is a little bit more traditional in that way, and we're used to having kind of the Vikings and Packers and Vikings and Bears. So I can understand if you can't beat the team that is directly in front of you, that you're seated a little lower. I guess I get it, but I would vote for getting rid of the division playoff seeding stuff. I think that's stupid.
Would you, if you were NBA commissioner, would you just get rid of the divisions and just do a conference?
No, so I was talking NFL there. In the NBA, I don't mind having the divisions there just because part of it, John, is that those are the teams that you're definitely playing twice a year, or twice at your home stadium twice a year. You play 4 times, of course,
right,
in the NBA. So that, I think, is important. At least it's regional. That's all fine with me. But I like how the NBA doesn't prioritize it in terms of if you have you're 10 games over 500 and the team in your division is 9, that you're not a lower seed because some other team won a division and you didn't. That's kind of stupid.
Yeah, to me, the NFL is the closest thing to a perfect sport. I mean, I would make a bunch of changes in the NBA. Baseball's already made a bunch of changes. The NFL is the world's most popular sport. I mean, you can't a bad NFL game, Mike.
It's not the world's most popular sport.
Well, get a load of this. I'll just say the countries.
Yes.
I'll
give you that.
Of the 100 top sporting events in the United States, 100 top rated sporting events, 94 of them were NFL games.
So of course that's true. The sport that I'm watching right now in the background, in which Manchester United is down 1-0, is actually the world's most popular sport. The reason, though, it's kind of a stacked deck. Like, if you switched the NFL, and I get this is kind of a dumb exercise just based on the physicality of it, but if you had 82 NFL games per team per season, and you had 18 NBA games, then guess the ratings, I think, would flip. Fantasy would be a lot different then if you had like one NBA game a week. Imagine how many people would tune in to watch the stars of the NBA and less. So, like, I do think that the ratings game that thus gets a little bit rigged for the NFL. I don't know that it's just the sport that everybody loves that much more. I think it's the way that the schedule has played out and how it's once a week. And I love the NFL too. I'm not ripping the NFL. I just think that that's the TV ratings game, I think, is a little bit rigged for the NFL.
All right, coming up next, there is an NBA player who may be available that would be a perfect fit in Los Angeles for either the Lakers or the Clippers. The problem is, I'm not sure either team can afford him. I'll tell you who it is next. Mike Trudell in for Mason in Ireland, ESPN LA.
The most followed sports radio station in the world.
In the world. That's right. In the world.
710 ESPN.
You know it. Yeah. Tell your friends.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
We're naturally entertaining.
Yes. LA's mega sports station. 710 ESPN.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
All right. We got a caller who says, I need to buy a car and I need to save money. Well, my friend, I've got one answer for you. The Cerritos Auto Square. It's America's largest auto mall. 24 dealerships, all the top brands, all in one easy location right here in SoCal. And here's the secret. These dealers sell more cars than anyone because they have low prices. And they can actually afford low prices because they sell so many cars. Check it out at CerritosAutosquare.com.
Cerritos Auto Square.
Memorial Day at Morongo is so much fun that after Monday,
Hey guys,
I'm taking off.
double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk, and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double Down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats, so lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at espnla.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, this is Matthew Stafford of your Los Angeles Rams. This is Mason and Ireland on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
This is Trudeau.
Well, I knew that the last break coming back was a Tribe Called Quest, and I wanted to kind of pause and just listen to it, but
Yeah.
you moved us into a topic right away.
Okay, so who's this?
This
Fantastic
is-
80s band, American band.
Give me a hint.
2 words. David Byrne is their lead singer. You're too young. Talking Heads.
Talking Heads, okay. Yeah, I never listened to Talking Heads.
Yeah, they're great.
Okay.
They're not making music anymore, but they're great. He is. Burns got a couple plays on Broadway. He's doing good.
There you go.
All right, so you and I love to talk about NBA, and I know a guy in Ohio named Sam Amico. He writes for a publication called Hoops Wire.
Know of him.
Lindsay knows him. He's buddies with my friend Jeff Phelps. Sam wrote this week, that Drew Holiday may be available. The Celtics are going to have to make some changes because Jason Tatum's not coming back next year. They're going to pay him anyway. They're going to probably they've just had an ownership change. They're going to be way into the luxury tax and over the cap. They can't come back with the same group. It just doesn't make financial sense. I love Drew Holiday, not just because he's a UCLA guy, not just because he was married to Lauren, the soccer player on, the women's Team USA soccer player. I just think he's a winning player. Where he won the title in Milwaukee, he won the title in Boston. He's 33. He's signed for 2 more years. Could the Lakers or Clippers realistically make a run at him, or is he too expensive?
I mean, I don't think there's any team that doesn't love Drew Holiday. Like he's a winner. He's about the right things. He defends. He's a great guy. All of that.
But if you look at the Laker guards and the Clipper guards, what they have are great offense, but not a lot of defense. He's great defensively.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the Clippers a little bit better on the perimeter than the Lakers, but that not as good offensively. So Holiday's his contract, you mentioned, so next year it's $32.4 million. In 26-27, it's 34.8, and then he's got a player option for 37.2 in the 27-28 season. And at that season, he will be 37 going on 38. So I think he's a summer birthday. Yeah, so he's about to turn 35 in a couple of weeks. I just think that take the Lakers and take Holiday, the player, out of it specifically.
Okay.
As you move forward and you're building a roster around Luka Doncic. Now, of course, you still have LeBron James we'll see how long he's going to play. We'll see what he's going to do. I think that you have to really focus on a couple of principles and a couple of characteristics, and one would be athleticism, length, like size, motor, like all of those things to not just for a playoff series, but to get you through that 82.
Right.
And so if you're going to spend that much of the cap on a player, even if it's somebody as good as Holiday,
it makes it really hard to go get a center.
It's tough to do, and not just a center, but like another big wing and more youth. So I think that for a lot of teams, it's not that any team wouldn't want the player, but Holiday it wasn't his best regular season, and I think that you're kind of the Celtics are more than willing to, hey, go take a week off here, take a game off here because we know you're going to be there in the postseason run. But then they actually don't get the job done this year in the postseason, and it's just that's where it's right on that fine line, John, of you love the player, but does that contract for the player, make it difficult to build the rest of the team around?
All right, now settle an argument for me. Andy Kamenetsky was here yesterday, and as you know, Andy does a Locked On Lakers podcast, so he's constantly, like me and you, he's looking at numbers, and I said, I would love to see the Lakers get in it for Steven Adams. Steven Adams is an unrestricted free agent. He made $13 million this year. He's going to get a raise because he played well. He may even get a raise from the Rockets, who he played for last year. I think he's going to cost somebody $17 million, roughly. Not necessarily just the Lakers, but any team that goes after him. I think you could probably get him $17 million for 1 year. Andy says Lakers can't do that. They cannot create the space. They cannot create the money. I should give up the pipe dream because they just don't have the pieces. They can't do it. I think there's several mechanisms by which you could do it. I think there's going to be 6 or 7 new players on the Laker roster this year. I don't know which ones are going and which ones are staying, but I think they're going to shuffle the deck. I think, to your point, they're going to go out and get some size. I think he would fit that definition, and I think you could, as creative as the Laker front office has always been, come up with a way to offer somebody like that 1 year, $17 million. Andy says, no way. Do the math. You can't do it. What do you think?
Well, the math, the first domino that has to drop for the math is like what LeBron ends up doing.
Right.
Does he pick up his option? Does he decide that he wants to restructure something? Does he take less? Does he so that's the first thing.
I don't think he should have to, by the way, but go ahead.
Yeah, and we don't know the answer to that. But so in terms of, I'm not gonna get too concerned right now with kind of counting the dollars because it all depends on what happens with that first domino. So in terms of like just Steven Adams, the player for whatever team, anybody that watched the postseason this year couldn't help but think, oh, Steven Adams, he's back. Like he was great. He popped. There's no doubt. Now, the issue with Steven Adams, who was super healthy his first several years in the league, so this year, 58 games. He missed the entire 23-24 season. The 22-23 season, he played 42 games. And so he hasn't really been healthy these last several years. And so I think that, there's some probably happy medium. The number that you threw out there, to me, seems high for somebody that's probably best suited as a backup.
I agree.
He could start on certain teams. I get it. But the mixture of health and age and all that, and he's certainly not going to be a stretch 5.
No.
So you're kind of stuck into playing a certain style.
Steven Adams does 2 things. He plays defense and he rebounds.
Yeah,
That's it.
And he's your enforcer, right? So there's a lot going for you there, and I like him, and I think he'd be a great backup for any team. But it goes right back to the previous conversation that we had about Holiday, like how much are you willing to spend, how much do you have to spend, and I think that there are. The money that you said, I think, is probably too high to make it work.
Yeah, but I did that.
But it might not cost that much.
Yeah, I did that kind of intentionally. Like if you get in a bidding war, that's about as high as it would go.
Yeah.
All right, I threw this out earlier, and this is not. I don't want to make this just about the Lakers. I want to make this a generic statement. You are a GM of Team Widgets, okay? Philadelphia would love to get out from that Joel Embiid contract. It's massive, and he doesn't play. But when he plays, he's unbelievable. Would you even consider, if you were a GM on another team, and you could get him for your price, whatever your terms, what they want is for you to take the contract. So you wouldn't have to give up a lot. Would you even consider it or not touch it at all? Andy was like, I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole.
Oh, man. my first instinct, I'm probably closer to Andy on this one. It's just so I just cited Steven Adams' games, and you don't want to know the games played for Embiid the last couple of years, right? It was if you do though, it was 19 this last year. The previous season it was 39,
and he makes an insane amount of money.
And he hadn't yet it's just about to go up into the 60s.
Yeah,
and so I think that like if you're a team that has a type of player, like if you're the Lakers and you have Luka Doncic, right, or if you're Milwaukee right now who has Giannis, if you're OKC and you have Shea, I think then it's very difficult to have Embiid as well at that money moving forward and to build the type of depth that you need to compete with the teams right now that are all playing in the postseason. The one that doesn't have depth is New York. They're kind of unique in that this is a whole other thing. Tibbs had this comment, which I kind of liked.
Right.
He has everybody play a certain amount of minutes in the regular season because he thinks that you need to be conditioned to do that in the postseason, which I do get it. It's tough to get there, but it's working right now. Okay, that they are conditioned. All the 7 players that are playing are conditioned to play the big minutes. But barring that, all the rest of these teams that are still going have really good depth. They have 3 to 4 excellent bench players and around a star. And so I just think that if you have to count on, in other words, your superstar, especially at that number, to be available. And that's where Embiid has struggled. Nobody's gonna question the skill level and the talent and all that, but I think that's the starting point. And what level of risk are you willing to tolerate? I don't know that I'm willing to tolerate that amount of risk right now.
Most people are agreeing with you.
And Philly, it's tough. Like they drafted him. He sat out the first season, right, as he recovered from that foot. So and then he won MVP. Even if I thought it should have been Jokic, when fully healthy, I still think Embiid has something to prove in a 7-game series in a postseason setting. But overall, it's the injury stuff that's harder, John.
By the way, you mentioned MVP. Today at 4:00, they're going to give it to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shams is already reporting that. You could make an argument that Jokic was just as good as SGA this year. You okay with SGA winning an MVP?
Yeah, it's I would have voted for Jokic. Back in the day, when earlier in the league, John, before they outlawed team broadcasters from voting, I used to have a vote for some things.
Right.
And so I still spend a lot of time doing my own ballots, and I keep a spreadsheet just to kind of see what I think it was at the end of every year. I would have leaned very slightly towards Jokic. To me, the tiebreaker, as long as team success isn't crazy different. And in this case, yes, OKC won 10 more games, but Denver was still right there in the mix as a top 4 seed. So
yeah.
I would have given it to Jokic because he is still the overall better player. He has proven it. Okay, so to me, that tiebreaker goes to the overall better player, and the numbers are close enough. But I'm the least mad about SGA winning. He was the best player on the best team.
You could make a solid argument for either guy.
His individual numbers were amazing. He defends every night. He plays every night. So, no problem with it. I get it. Fine with Shea winning it.
And Giannis is going to come in third. Is Giannis the biggest player that moves this offseason? Or do you think he maybe doesn't move and it's Durant?
Well, I mean, if he does move, he's certainly the biggest. He's certainly the biggest player to move
because Jokic and Shea aren't moving.
I think that everybody around the league is not expecting Phoenix to just run that back again. So then Durant would be sort of the next name. But John, we are way past the point now of being able to just say that to pretend like we know what's going to happen in the NBA.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. There's somebody out there, some name that we're not talking about that's going to get moved this summer.
Every year.
Yep.
Last year was Luka.
Yep.
All right, coming up next. What's up, fool? We'll get Brian in here. We'll get Laura in here. They'll throw a bunch of stuff at us. That's next. Mike Trudell in for Mason in Ireland, ESPN LA.
Hey, do you know a high school senior who's a leader, a scholar, and an athlete? Nominate them for the ESPN LA All-Star Student presented by Rotolo Chevrolet. 5 winners, $500 scholarships, VIP treatment at our All-Star Friday event. Nominate your all-student today at ESPNLA.com. Thanks to Rotolo Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer in the West region in California for 13 years in a row. Come see what all the fun is about.
Sedano and Cap.
Today at 3 p.m. after Mason in Ireland.
It's National Rescue Dog Day.
Oh, really?
See, Cap, you're kind of like a rescue dog. Sedano and I rescued you.
Seems that way.
And
but I will say that a lot of people...
By the way, even though you think George and I get heated between each other, you know one way to get George back? Just make fun of you.
Well, a lot of people in our circle of trust, they understand the truth. They understand the reality. The reality is that I made Morales.
Wow. I mean, that is just the reality of the situation.
So here's I would say Keyshawn made me like a personality at this station, but you very much in the second generation of this, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
You and I have done a lot of bits together.
The 12-inch dog, you know?
Yeah, the Schwanz.
24.
24?
It was 24.
Oh, the Glizzy. You're talking about the Glizzy, not the
Well,
Schwanz.
it was 22 inches.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
I did 11 and a half.
Right, I did 10 and a half. That's
And then I eventually had heart failure, so how did it all work out?
Heart failure, all for the bit.
The LA Afternoon Takeover. That's Sedano and Cap.
On 710 ESPN.
Are you looking for a trusted roofing expert in Southern California? Journey Builders has you covered. This is Mike Trudell from ESPN LA. Journey Builders specializes in quality roof replacements for homes around the Southland. They'll ensure that your roof stands strong. ESPN LA listeners who call in today to book their free same-day inspection get $5,500 off their roof replacement. Journey Builders also offers financing. Call 888-607-8808 today. That's 888-607-8808.
Double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk, and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
HD apron or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. If you're ready to upgrade your driving experience, you gotta go and check out what's happening at Cadillac and their incredible new lineup of state-of-the-art EVs, sedans, and SUVs. And hey, look, there's no better place to experience the luxury of Cadillac than at Cadillac of Beverly Hills. Check out Cadillac of Beverly Hills and their beautiful showroom at 8767 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. And check them out on the web at CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Mason in Ireland on 710.
I mean, would you rather have good life or sex? Good sex. Good life, good sex.
Well, I got both.
There you go.
That's
good
the correct
for you,
answer.
Johnny I.
More of Mason in Ireland right now.
What's Up, Fool is brought to you by Dos Hombres Mezcal. It's fate. It's friendship. It's mezcal. Dos Hombres.
All right, guys, we've been talking, especially the afternoon show, a lot about Around the Horn because it's coming to an end this week. And I noticed Sedano posted something on his social media. Actually, I believe it was like a video, welcoming video from Tony Reali when he was welcomed into Around the Horn many years ago. And yesterday I saw Pablo Torre shared the voicemail he got from Tony Reali when he was welcomed in 2012 to Around the Horn. So my question to you guys is, have you kept a video or a voicemail or something special of a big moment in your career? And do you guys still have it to this day?
There's a couple that I wish I would have kept that I didn't.
You and Shaq?
Well, that's on that's out there. You can grab that anytime you want. I don't have a voicemail from my dad. Both Mike and I both lost our dads around the same time, actually. Yeah. And Mike's dad was actually much younger than mine. But you, I know, have some like I've actually at your wedding you had a nice tribute from your family, and that you put together when your dad passed away, and so you have a lot of records of your dad. I don't. I wish I would have done that. Ramona had a voicemail from John Wooden, and her phone went dead, and she didn't save it, and it drives her crazy. But so I wish I would have done something like that too. But I don't have any. I don't think I have a saved voicemail on here that I've taken the time to go and like put into another file. Do you?
I do have some, like, on my phone. I've had the same phone since I started with the Lakers in 2008. So I do have some voicemails from my dad from early on.
Yeah, don't lose those.
I do have those. I mean, as far as my dad goes, we have all kinds of, home videos and all that kind of stuff. So I do have that stuff. Like, professionally, I don't. A lot of the stuff that I'll do would be, like when I took John's job, when John got the play-by-play job, the first time I did a walk-off with Kobe, for example, like I have that. But then now I've done X however many since then.
Right.
So I don't necessarily like save them to save them, but I'll usually put them on my Instagram so they're there, right?
Right.
But so it isn't necessarily a moment.
But you and I could probably go back and find most of those.
They have them at Spectrum, and John could go back to KCal or back in the day when you were doing it.
The one game I have saved on my computer is Kobe's final game of his career. And we play it every year on August 24th, on Kobe Day. We play the last 10 minutes of Kobe's career, which in real time was about 3 minutes of game time.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever be at a better game than that.
That was insane. Yeah. But, I don't know, Brian, do you have one saved? Do you have anything saved electronically that you hope you never lose?
Not really, honestly.
I don't either.
I don't think I have.
Laura, do you?
I was trying to think about it, but I don't. I genuinely don't. And I wish that there's some things, like, for example, my first radio gig that I got, I was really cool with my program director at the time. And I remember she left me a voicemail letting me know that I got hired. So I probably wouldn't want that because that was like my initial, hey, you got hired.
You want to hear a cool story? Jim Nantz, who, of course, is a sportscasting Hall of Famer. He was working a game. He was a local sportscaster in Salt Lake City, and he was working a game at Giants Stadium doing something, covering probably Utah or BYU, whatever. And somebody went down and said, you have a phone call on the press box phone. And he went over to the press box phone, he picked it up, and it was the president of CBS Sports saying, I'd like to hire you to come work at the network.
Whoa.
And he goes, well, that's going to change my life. Thank you. And he got up the phone. So when they redid the stadium, somebody knew that story, and they pulled the phone and gave it to Nance, and he still has it.
That's dope.
Cool. Yeah, which is really cool.
What's up, Foo?
All right, so MLB announced this morning that MLB Players Weekend will be back this year. Took about a 4-year hiatus right around COVID, came back last year. Well, with it, it's going to be the custom bats, custom cleats. They could design anything.
And you can have any nickname you want on the back of your shirt.
That's the caveat here. They're not bringing the nicknames back or the obscure jerseys that they do every year.
Oh, too bad.
That was my favorite part.
That was mine, too.
Right. The cool thing they are doing after is all the cleats and bats that the players customize. That weekend after, they will auction them off to the players' charity. But my question here is, are you a fan of them bringing this back just for a weekend, or is this something that we should have? Like, why can't these players have their custom cleats, custom bats, any game that they want?
I think it's too much to let them do it for the whole year. But for a weekend, Mike, why not? I mean, Rich Hill, on the back of his shirt, wrote Dick Mountain.
Yeah.
Because it was a play on Rich Hill, and everybody got a big kick out of it. I thought the nicknames were kind of fun. I for one weekend, why not?
Yeah, bring those back. When you first said players only, it made me think of players only they used to do in the broadcast, which I was not a huge
Worst
fan of.
idea ever.
Yeah, it's like I'd rather hear the voice of Kevin Harlan and Ian Eagle, and I'm a little biased towards that, of course, and being in the industry. But so I don't need that part of the players only. But in terms of letting the players have some artistic freedom, some designing capabilities, I'm for all of that. So let's get that back in a real way.
But
year.
Brian, I would vote not only to bring it back, but I'd also bring the nicknames and all that other stuff back that you say they're not
the
bringing
special
back.
jerseys that they did just for the limited weekend.
Bring it back.
Yeah, especially if it's only one weekend. Why not? Yeah.
What's up, Foo?
Go for it.
All right, guys. So we did talk a little bit about the Knicks, and I think they're doing something really cool. Mayor Eric Adams said in a release, on the path to a championship, we recognize the hard work and determination that has gotten this team to the Eastern Conference Finals, and we're celebrating this team by temporarily co-naming our city streets so all of New Yorkers can celebrate with the Knicks, with Knick pride. So I thought this was really cool. So all 15 players are respectively getting their name with a street. So, for example, Jalen Brunson Boulevard sign is next to a West 11th Street sign and 7th Avenue. So, obviously in LA, we've talked about this. We are kind of spoiled. You know, we get championships here a lot. So, do you guys think that we would ever get something like this happen in LA where we temporarily get like a Shohei Ohtani street? Eventually, he will probably have his street name, but something that.
We're sitting here right off of Chickhearn Boulevard. I mean, you can name streets after. I'm surprised there isn't a Magic. Maybe there is a Magic Johnson Drive. In the Bahamas, there's a Michael Thompson Boulevard. I'm not against any of that.
Is there a Bill McDonald Boulevard in Newport?
Somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think that to rename streets, even if temporarily, you got to actually win the title.
Sure.
Okay?
Well, they haven't done it since 1973, you know, so they're fanning out.
So Willis Reed can have a street, and Dave DeBuscher and Bill Bradley, but Phil Jackson.
John, why do we play? Why do we play sports?
To win. You play to win the game.
We play to win the title. So, I otherwise, to me, it's a little bit pandering if you start to do street naming before you've actually won anything. And I'm also a little bit of a party pooper on like the baseball celebrations after winning the divisional round. It's like
Mason and I have argued about it for 30 years.
It's like, oh, we have so many games, we need something to celebrate. Well, you didn't win it. You didn't win anything.
Wait a minute.
You got to win.
Why do they have to have 7 champagne celebrations and then they don't even?
It's the final one.
They
didn't win anything.
It's a one-game playoff. You beat the Rockies. Woohoo!
They didn't win
Let
anything.
them live. Let them live.
Yeah, no, baseball over celebrates. That's true.
What's up, Foo?
So Fanatics coming up next month, Fanatics Fest. They announced they're doing a cool thing here with the fans, the Fanatic Games. So they're giving 50 fans. All you got to do is submit a video online if you want to get into the Fanatic Games. Compete against 50 athletes. Some of the athletes involved: Micah Parsons, C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels, Tom Brady, Kevin Durant, Gronk, Draymond Green, Russ Wilson, Alex Rodriguez. So a little bit of old and new. 8 challenges that they're going to compete in: QB skills, shooting around the world, soccer, goal scoring, MLB pitch accuracy, NHL puck shooting, UFC strike challenge, and golf closest to the pin. The prizes here are pretty cool, though.
Wait, UFC strike challenge, do you hit another person or do you hit a target?
I think it's target.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the first place prize is going to be $1 million. Second place prize is a new Ferrari.
Okay.
And the third place prize is a LeBron James rookie card worth $250,000.
Not bad work if you can get it.
Did you say a Ferrari is second prize?
Yes, that's the second place
so
prize.
it's obviously a Ferrari worth less than $1 million.
Has a Ferrari ever been a second prize? Something?
Probably.
Fanatics. So if you were in this challenge, which one of these 8 challenges would you have the best, luck at? The QB skills, pitching accuracy, golf closest to the pin. What say you?
Say the other four again.
What's the basketball one?
Around the world. Or their soccer goal scoring.
Strudel would be soccer goal scoring, and I would be closest to the pin.
I mean, for sure, soccer goal scoring. I will say that my 10-year-old beat me in around the world yesterday, so I would not enter myself into that.
Maybe we can enter him into that.
Yeah.
Which one?
Jet. And okay. I felt happy for him, of course. But I went to the gym that I work out at and took about 500 jump shots. I'm like, look, I'm not ready to lose to you yet at this age. Okay, like you beating me is fine. But I'm not. I need to get better than that. So the jump shot is broken right now. So I'm not doing that.
What's up, Foo?
All right, I have a last one here.
Okay.
I found this extremely interesting. So Keke Palmer, who's an actress, she's a singer, entrepreneur, was doing an interview, and she said, I live under my means. I think it's incredibly important to live under your means. If I have $1 million in my pocket, my rent is going to be $1,500. That's how underneath my means I'm talking about. My car note is going to be $340. I don't need a Bentley. I'll ride a Lexus. First of all, girl, where are you living that it's $1,500 and that a Lexus is $340? I want to know. Please let me know. But she clearly, she talks about money. She has a podcast. There's a lot of things that she does. is this, people kind of shamed her for being too frugal, but she talks about, she lived a very hard life, so she knows how to manage her money. Do you guys think that if you got it, you could splurge a little bit, or should you be that frugal?
I'm more like Keke Palmer than I am like anyone else. Do you guys know who Warren Buffett is? He's one of the richest men in the world, and he's an investor. Warren Buffett lives in Omaha, Nebraska, in the same house he lived in for the last 50 years. He never buys new shoes. He resoles the ones that he has. He never buys new cars. He only buys used cars. So, I mean, there are people that are more comfortable living that way. 4 years, I didn't spend any money on anything. And then when we finally built that place in Idaho, now we've built it to a point where if we had to sell it, we could get our money back. But I'm more frugal than not, Mike. I tend to live below my means more than most people.
Yeah, I'm more frugal than I would like to be. In fact, I get frustrated with myself sometimes about not enjoying life to a greater degree. I think it does go back to just childhood. Like, I remember the first time I got a credit, or not a credit card, a debit card. And my parents were like, look, you do not go into what would be the black or the red. You do not go into the red. Okay, you pay your bill ahead of time. You do not take your credit card. You do not pay it. And it just got stamped into my head so hard that now I still I'll get a credit card alert on my phone right now, and I'm kind of like, do we need to spend that? So I think there's a balance between frugality and trying to enjoy your life a little more, and I wish that I enjoyed my life a little bit more.
Brian, do you err more on the side of you're cheap or more on the side of you overspend?
Definitely cheap, yeah. Same thing. Anytime any transaction goes, I'm like, really?
Laura, it sounds like you go the other way.
Okay, I'm trying to be on y'all's side, and I don't know if this is a guy thing because my man is exactly like that. I'm the girl that was asking you guys if I should really spend for a 36-hour trip and go see Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico. Mace is on my side. He said yes.
Well, Mason spends most of the money Mason spends, and he's like me. He's kind of frugal.
Oh, interesting.
But most of the money he spends are on experiences. Most of the money I spend are on things.
Oh, see, that I learned, John.
Yeah.
Don't spend on things because things are going to be trashed, whatever. They don't stay. My friend always taught me, don't spend on things, spend on experiences. So I'm trying to go
Mason's
there.
very good at that. Like right now, he's spending a fortune to go to Hawaii. Hawaii's super expensive. He doesn't care. That's where he says, I make a lot of money. I'm gonna spend it on something. That's what he'll spend. But at the same time, he'll tell you, I won't spend more than $400 on a hotel room.
That's true.
So I mean, there are limits to everybody.
Trudell, we got to go see Kendrick. That's all I heard.
Yeah, I mean, this is an example of where, I'm like, just go see Kendrick with your kids, but I got bailed out of my being cheap because they have a playoff baseball game tonight, and then a soccer tournament this weekend. So I actually can't go see Kendrick. It's not financially.
Well, they did kind of saved you. Again, saved by a playoff game.
Well,
story of your life.
Now I just want to go lock myself in a dark place because Manchester United just capped off the worst season of any major club's history.
And they lost their one get out of jail free card game.
Just pathetic. I hate everything, and I need a timeout.
Well, I'll do something that will put you in a good mood. Last night, the sports Emmys were in New York. Okay.
Well, I didn't win one, so I don't.
Well, now I've won 7 of them, but I've won local sports Emmys.
I've got local
These
ones,
are national
but no
sports
nationals,
Emmys.
yeah.
We'll tell you who won and find out if Mike agrees with these. There are a couple of them that I thought they just nailed, dead on. We'll tell you who won the sports Emmys last night when we come back. ESPN LA, Mason and Ireland, Trudell in for Mace. Back after this.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
Back tomorrow at 9 a.m. after Clinton and Friends.
I understand he's a song and dance man.
I get
the
soundtrack
it.
of my life, he's got a few in there.
Does he?
Oh, yeah, he's got a few. A couple.
That's what we'll do today. We'll just play...
No, we don't need to do that.
JT?
No. We don't need to do that. No.
Yeah, I don't like JT for a myriad of reasons.
Oh,
you guys are talking about JT, not Timberland.
Justin Timberlake is JT.
Yeah,
You're talking about Timberland.
You're talking Timberland.
Yeah,
oh, no, the other... Timberland is still doing his thing.
The shoes?
No, Timberland's a producer.
Timberland.
Yeah, Timberland is a producer.
Timberland is from Virginia.
Yeah.
Even I know that.
Yeah. Not JT Timberland. Wow. Okay.
I suck at this game.
2-pack?
Yeah. Jodeci.
Who's that Snoopy dog?
Jodeci was not on purpose. Timberland was.
Mrs. Elliott.
God.
Yeah, Mrs.
Crazy.
Florida.
Yeah.
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m.
It's Travis and DeMarco. come
on 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their one-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
Are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Looking for all things black and gold? Tap into LAFC Plus, hosted by Dave Denholm and Mario Ruiz.
This is LAFC Plus. He's Mario Ruiz. I'm Dave Denholm.
React to the latest match. Get ready for the upcoming game. Get exclusive interviews. Plus, a look around the rest of the MLS.
This is what LA is about. Not just being in the big games, but also winning.
New episodes of LAFC Plus drop weekly. Available everywhere you get your podcasts and on the ESPN LA app.
Hey, John Ireland here. Laker fans, meet Pro Baller Energy, the official energy drink of the Lakers. It's a natural, healthier alternative packed with ultra-premium ingredients like organic agave, electrolytes, essential B vitamins, natural caffeine, and it's NSF Sports certified. It fights fatigue, sharpens focus, and supports your immune system so you stay locked in longer without the crash. Grab the limited edition Lakers can and rep the team in style. Pro Baller Energy. Champions choose clean energy.
Coverage of the 2025 NBA playoffs on ESPN LA is brought to you by Chumba Casino, your favorite online social casino. Play anytime, anywhere for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Head to ChumbaCasino.com and let's Chumba.
No purchase necessary. Must be 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a good karma brands radio station.
Mason and Ireland on LA's mega sports station.
Oh my, am I really on Mason and Ireland show?
Yes.
This is a great moment. Hey.
Right now, more of Mason and Ireland on 710.
All right, 2 hours down. One more to go. Mason and Ireland show. Mike Trudell's in for Mace. And last night, the 46th annual Sports Emmys took place in New York City. And these are all the stuff that we all watched together. For example, Mike, okay, here were the finals for Best Championship Event. Okay? World Series, Dodgers-Yankees. U.S. Open Tennis Tournament, NBC and Peacock. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the U.S. Open Golf Tournament. The Paris Olympics, the Masters, the Women's Final Four. What do you think won?
World Series.
The Olympics, and it should win. They do an extraordinary job televising the Olympics. And it's
Olympics almost feels like it shouldn't count.
But there's so many nights.
Every 2 years, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, live special, but a non-championship event. Okay, so like not the Super Bowl, not the World Series, not the NBA Finals. Indy 500, Army-Navy game, Daytona 500, NFL wildcard game on Nickelodeon from Bikini Bottom, or a tribute to the Negro Leagues on Fox.
I actually don't think I watched any of those.
Well, I didn't see this, but apparently it was very good. It was it's Rick Whitfield, a tribute to the Negro Leagues on Fox.
Okay, that would have been my guess.
Okay, now this is stuff we all watch. Best series, okay? College football on CBS, NFL football on Fox, ESPN's Monday Night Football, the NFL on CBS, or the SEC on ABC. So those are the 5. College football on CBS, pro football on CBS or Fox, ESPN Monday Night Football or SEC.
I'll go Monday Night Football.
It's SEC, which isn't a bad choice. They do a ton. They dump a ton of money into that. I'm trying to find one that. Okay, here's something that we all watch: edited specials. So something you have time to edit. A story on the 2019 Masters when Tiger Woods won his final Masters. An E60 on the 94 New York Rangers. UFC Year of the Fighter, George St. Pierre. ESPN Sports Center. Which one do you think won?
What was the Sports Center event?
The Harbaugh brothers.
Okay, I happened to. This is cheating because I was, our buddy Josh Ruprecht,
of course,
was with him last night, and as well as Chris Hayre, you know him, and Ty Nowell, and
they went to New York.
Francisco Pinto. No, but they were aware of what won here, which is the Harbaugh brothers. Yes.
Well, it's pretty rare where you get 2 brothers to be NFL head coaches.
Yeah, and everybody, by the way, loves Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah, great guy.
Including Brian.
Yeah.
Okay. Hosted edited series. So something that's edited but has a host. Okay. Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp, ESPN E60, NFL Films Presents, Olympic Highlights with Kevin Hart and Keenan Thompson, or The Shop with LeBron and Maverick and those guys.
I always enjoyed The Shop. I'm gonna guess that this is an E60.
You are correct.
Win though.
Yeah,
okay.
E60 was victorious.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see if we could. Documentary series. All right. Charlie Hustle and the Matter of Pete Rose on HBO Max. The Comeback, the 2004 Red Sox on Netflix. Game 7 on Prime, which was just all about Game 7s. In the Arena, Serena Williams on ESPN, or Untold on Netflix.
All right, I'm going to go with our buddy Jared Stacy and say Prime Game 7s.
Netflix won it. The Comeback of the Red Sox. What should have won this is Untold. You guys have watched all those Untolds, right?
I'm kind of mad they didn't.
Yeah, they're all great. And the newest one came out on Tuesday night. It's about Brett Favre. I haven't seen it yet, but I bet it's great. All the Untolds are great. The last one was called Shooting Guards. It was about Gilbert Arenas and Javaris Crittenden, who used to play for the Lakers, who pulled guns on each other after a plain poker game.
Well, and Javaris had other issues I just read about because Diddy's lawyer was Javaris's lawyer.
Well,
so I just read about that.
That all gets covered. Okay. Here's one of stuff we all watch.
Boo Red Sox, by the way. Who cares?
Daily Studio Show. Okay?
Yeah.
Dan Patrick Show on Peacock. Good Morning Football, NFL Network. MLB Central, MLB Tonight, both on the MLB Network. NFL Live, which is the daily football show on ESPN, or pardon the interruption.
I'm going to guess NFL Live.
They did win.
Okay.
I would have given it to Pardon the Interruption every year. I think it's the best show on TV.
Love Will Bond especially. And obviously it's been a great show for many years.
All right, here's something you watch all the time.
Yep.
Studio shows. Okay. College Game Day. Fox MLB Postseason. Inside the NBA. NHL Stanley Cups on playoffs. Road to the Final Four on CBS. What do you take?
Did you say it was Inside the NBA nominated?
Yep.
I think Inside slipped a little bit. I know it's not a popular take, so I'm not going to say Inside. I found myself actually enjoying the MLB postgame crew
on Fox. They won.
They did. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one with Jeter and Big Papi and Kevin Burkhardt.
Yeah, and A-Rod I think is the other. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, sports Emmys are so eye of the beholder.
Yeah,
if you think about it.
For sure.
Okay. Journalism. Nobody really does journalism anymore. Short features. Nobody does those anymore. Teases. You guys probably haven't seen. Digital innovation. Okay. Cosm, which is tied to Fox Sports, Lap of Legends, which is IndyCar racing, NFL on NBC, NHL on ESPN, Noche UFC on ESPN Plus.
No idea.
Thursday Night Football is in there too.
Oh, okay. I'll go Thursday Night Football.
I would too. I think that what they've done, we're friends with the guy who runs that thing.
Yeah.
They gave it to Cosm, which I haven't been to yet, but you guys all have, right? Brian, you've been. Laura, you've been to Cosm.
It's cool experience.
Okay,
Very
that's,
cool
That's
experience.
on my list. Definitely not to watch the worst team in the history of sports, Manchester United. We're just
Okay.
God, it's horrible.
All right, Mike, here's one that you've seen all of these people.
Sorry, I just got stressed.
Studio host. Okay?
Yeah.
Focus.
Scott Hansen, NFL Network. Ernie Johnson, TNT. Kate Scott, CBS Sports Network. Mike Tirico, NBC Peacock. Scott Van Pelt, ESPN.
I mean, a lot of good options there. So would Tirico be for Olympics or for football? Like for
You can do either.
Yeah, I feel like Ernie's going to win, but I'll say Tirico.
It's Ernie.
Okay.
Ernie could win every year.
Yeah.
He's one of the great guys of all time. Everybody loves him. Read up on Ernie Johnson.
Yeah.
Ernie's all right.
Not mad
Here's
at that.
one right in your wheelhouse. Play-by-play. Mike Breen, Joe Davis, Ian Eagle, Noah Eagle, Mike Tirico.
So I absolutely love Mike Breen, who's incredible. But I think since Ian Eagle also does the NFL so well and college basketball on top of being amazing in NBA, which of course Breen is incredible in NBA, I would go Ian Eagle.
I know all five of these guys. Joe Davis won it, and I could not be happier for him because of all the people on there. Him and Noah were the two young guys. They're both great. But it's going to mean a lot to Joe that he won in this category. Joe comes on with us a lot.
Yeah, incredible.
He's a great announcer, great guy.
Incredible
and if you
honor
beat
for Joe.
Mike Breen, both Eagles and Mike Tirico, that's a win.
No doubt.
Joe will treasure that
That's
for
huge.
sure. Studio analyst, Mike. Charles Barkley, Nate Burleson, Ryan Clark, Kirk Herbstreit, Dan Orlovsky.
Barkley, right?
Yep.
So-
Yeah, not
He's
even
got it
close.
right. I mean, I think that in terms of like actual like analyzing the game, right out of that group, I might take Herbstreit.
Right.
But analyze like the entertainment factor, nobody's touching Chuck still.
All right. Last one. Event analyst. Okay.
Stu Lance, Michael Thompson.
Not nominated.
Okay. Those are my two answers.
Troy Aikman, Peyton Manning, Greg Olson, Bill Raftery, John Smoltz. Who wins?
So so you can't guess. I feel like Aikman's gotten better as he doesn't care. Anymore, just kind of says
agree with
anything. So he was great this year. But I might go Greg. For me, I might go Greg Olson. Honestly, love Greg Olson.
It's Peyton Manning.
Peyton,
And
okay.
it's all for that crazy thing he does with his brother.
The Manning cast.
Yeah, which is great.
Does that count? I mean, 'cause I was thinking more of like the actual game, but but sure. Like I guess that should be almost a separate category, but fair. Peyton's great too.
All right. And wait, I lied. Because since this is your actual job, I'll give you the last one. Sideline reporter. Network sideline reporter. Jenny Dell, Kaylee Hartung, Tom Rinaldi, Holly Rowe, Lisa Salters, Tracy Wolfson.
I'm gonna go Lisa Salters. I sit next to Lisa at many games and think she's great. I wouldn't be surprised if Tracy Wolfson won though.
She did.
Okay.
Yeah, Tracy Wolfson, because she does NFL, she does the NCAA
It's very good.
tournament. Yeah, that where you can plug Tracy into anywhere and she'd be great.
Yeah.
The weirdest one. I'll just end on this. Emerging on-air talent. All right, so somebody who just broke into it recently and they think it's going to be good. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jason Kelsey, Nick Saban, Richard Sherman, Jay Wright.
Jason Kelsey.
It's Nick Saban.
Really?
Like he needs more trophies.
Interesting.
Isn't that weird?
See, I didn't really watch much college football pregame, postgame studio.
He was
So
good.
yeah,
he was
but
particularly good on game day.
I really enjoy
On college
Kelsey
game day.
just in
Yeah,
in
they're all
general.
great.
I think Kelsey's
All
hilarious.
right, so those are your sports Emmys for 2025. All right, time to tell you about ZipRecruiter. If you are hiring, you got to use ZipRecruiter. My buddy Ian Siegel, who invented ZipRecruiter, puts it this way. They don't leave anything to chance. It's an algorithm. They match your job to the people that have those specific skills, and that's how you find top candidates fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. So what are you waiting for? Go to that web address and use ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/LA. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
Sedano and Cap.
Today at 3 p.m. after Mason and Ireland.
It's National Rescue Dog Day.
Oh, really?
See, Cap, you're kind of like a rescue dog. Sedano and I rescued you.
Seems that way.
And on the,
But I will say that a lot of
by the
people...
way, even though you think George and I get heated between each other, you know one way to get George back? Just make fun of you.
Well, a lot of people in our circle of trust, they understand the truth. They understand the reality. The reality is that I made Morales.
Wow.
I mean, that is just the reality of the situation.
Here's I would say Keyshawn made me like a personality at this station, but you very much in the second generation of this, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
you and I have done a lot of bits together.
The 12-inch dog, you know?
Yeah, the
It
Schwanz.
was 24.
24?
It was 24.
Oh, the Glizzy. You're talking about the Glizzy, not the
Oh, no,
Schwanz.
it's 22 inches.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
I did 11 and a half.
Right, I did 10 and a half. That's
And then I eventually had heart failure, so how did it all work out?
Heart failure all for the bit.
The LA Afternoon Takeover.
Hey guys, double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at espnla.com.
Check out what's happening at Cadillac and their incredible new lineup of state-of-the-art EVs, sedans, and SUVs. And hey, look, there's no better place to experience the luxury of Cadillac than at Cadillac of Beverly Hills. Check out Cadillac of Beverly Hills and their beautiful showroom at 8767 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. And check them out on the web at CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
And it is Mason and Ireland, the OGs of LA Sports Radio.
Like, that's the problem in the world is there aren't enough happy shows, fun shows.
Mason and Ireland.
710 ESPN.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and pepper.
All right, so Trudell, who's this?
This is Biggie, and I mean, look, are they trying to put me in a slightly better mood by playing a great song? Yes. Is it working? No.
It's his birthday. Well,
it would have been Biggie's birthday today?
Yes.
Happy
birthday.
Heavenly birthday to Christopher Wallace. But yeah, I don't know. John, I don't know what can make me feel that much better. In terms of, you know how it is with sports, like we put it in a certain level of a box, but like there are some things where it really does hit the heart in a certain way. And having the worst
And the fact
season,
that, now when will Manchester United play their next game? Do you have to wait several months?
Yes, not until August. I mean, they'll play, yeah. So like this is, we still have like a Premier League game left, but it's just a total disaster of a season. And I know that people don't care specifically about my team, but if you can think of your favorite team, maybe it's the Lakers, maybe it's the Dodgers, maybe it's whoever, whatever the worst possible moment, the lowest moments that you've had in your viewing life, that is what right now is for a Manchester United fan.
Okay, so I want to ask you a philosophical question here. Pat Riley used to say that after about 10 years, the message starts to get stale. The players don't necessarily respond to you the way they did 10 years before that. Every once in a while, you can come up with a coach that can withstand the test of time, who can do it forever. Mike Tomlin is currently in his 18th season with the Pittsburgh Steelers. 18. He's the longest tenured NFL coach. Ryan Clark, who works at ESPN, played for Mike Tomlin and loves him. He had a chronic health condition and he wanted to play, and Tomlin refused to let him play. And Clark walked into his office with all these doctors and all these medical experts, and Tomlin looks at him and goes, "If you were my son, I would tell you to shut up and go to your room. I'm not putting your health at risk. Get out of my office." So Clark loves him because he thinks he saved his life, which is why it was super surprising that Ryan Clark went on ESPN the other day and said this about Mike Tomlin.
I believe Mike Tomlin should coach in another organization. Mike Tomlin should be a fresh voice somewhere else, because I believe, as great as a coach he is, and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, I believe his voice has run stale there. I believe he's allowed that team to reach the highest of heights they're going to reach unless they can get a top-tier quarterback.
So they still might get Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if he's still considered a top-tier quarterback. But in general, Mike, do you believe that even great coaches, guys like Tomlin, who in 17 years has never had a losing season, their message burns out?
It's hard to argue against that just based on what we've seen, but it's definitely also an issue of the grass not always being greener.
I was hoping you would take me there. I think you're 100% right about this. Go ahead.
Like, if you have an all-time great coach, and so when I came here, the Lakers were coached by Phil Jackson. And
tough to top him.
You know, listening to him speak before and after every game, as you know, John, and I have the job that you used to have, and one of the biggest parts of that job is listening to every coach in the NBA speak before the game. So you listen to both the home and the road coach, and then after the game, you listen to the coach that you're covering. In this case, so that would have been Phil. And I just, every time that I heard Phil speak, I was impressed. Like no matter two a day. There were, and you get it. You get, okay, this is why he's Phil Jackson. I get it. Like, there's nothing that I don't understand about it. So now Phil had times where you could argue that his message got stale. Certainly with Kobe, he documents this and he writes about it in various books. But like ultimately, and then when Phil came back around the next time, like that message was able to get through again in a different way. So I feel like you give somebody like Tomlin the benefit of not reinventing himself, but finding a different way to put his message across to a franchise, to a team, more so than just saying, let's change it for change's sake. Like, one thing that to me would help the Steelers more than a coaching change would be a quarterback. Right. How about that? Like, that to me is what the problem with the Steelers have been, and they don't know who their quarterback is going to be next year. So I just am, generally speaking, I get it. The message is say, let's try something else. But if it's one of the guys who's a guy, and Tomlin is a guy, then to me, I give that a longer leash even than what he has what Clark is wanting to give him.
I think if Mike Tomlin parted ways with the Steelers, he would get a job in 5 minutes.
Right away. Yeah. You know, I remember, I think I've told you this before, but when I got done with college and I went to do a couple internships, but I came back to Minnesota and I had a training camp internship with the Vikings. Okay. Brad Childress was the head coach. You remember Brad Childress?
Him? Sure. Okay.
Mike Tomlin was the defensive coordinator. And all anybody was talking about in training camp was like, have you seen this Mike Tomlin guy? Like, look at the defense. This guy is incredible. He's amazing. I don't even know if he was probably in his early 30s.
Right.
And Pittsburgh brought him in because of the Rooney Rule.
Correct.
And at the time, wasn't
Mike,
called the Rooney Rule until
At the time, Ken Wisenhunt, the Steelers just never changed coaches. They had Chuck Noll. They rolled right into Bill Cowher. and now they have Mike Tomlin. They've had 3 coaches since 1960.
Yeah.
They're just one of those organizations that doesn't change coaches. And Whisenhunt was getting that job. Everybody had decided, the Steelers were good. They were coming off like a Super Bowl type season. Bill Cowher was burned out. They said, we're just going to let Whisenhunt do it. And that's where your story kicked in. Mike Tomlin, because they needed to interview an African-American candidate, they said, well, you should see this guy that's in Minnesota. He's like bouncing off the walls. Everybody loves him. He came in and did the interview, and Dan Rooney, the head of the Steelers at the time, looked around everybody in the room and goes, is there anybody here who doesn't think we should hire that guy?
Yeah.
He just blew everybody away, which is why the Rooney Rule isn't all that ridiculous.
And the Vikings, I think the Vikings had clearly seen this path of, all right, yeah, Childress the head coach now, but like everybody Tomlin's going to be the guy here. Tomlin's the guy. They wanted him to be the guy, but then when he got offered the job, he had to take the job. And so the Vikings, it took him a long time. And I think just now, Kevin O'Connor, who's great, everybody loves him there, but it's taken many, many coaches to try and find somebody that they would have liked as much as Tomlin.
Yeah, and I think it would be I was surprised to hear Ryan say it, and I would be shocked if the Steelers cut bait on Mike Tomlin. But if they did, he'd have another job before literally he got in his car and drove home.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how popular he is. All right, they do something in hockey, and I'm wondering whether or not they should do it in other sports. I'll tell you what it is next. By the way, Brian's game today, Game of Games, coming up in about 15 minutes. Mike Trudell in for Mace Mason in Ireland, ESPN LA.
The most followed sports radio station in the world.
In the world. That's right. In the world.
710 ESPN.
You know it. Yeah. Tell your friends.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
We're naturally entertaining.
Yes.
LA's mega sports station. 710 ESPN.
Cappy here to tell you about my great friends at Ocean Subaru of Fullerton. I'm a huge fan for so many reasons. The safety, technology, versatility, reliability, and they're all about the Subaru Love Promise. The cars are spacious and sporty. You got to go see my boy Omar and his team at Ocean Subaru of Fullerton. They're focused on your needs, and they're the most knowledgeable people when it comes to getting you into the right Subaru. Ocean Subaru, 1100 South Euclid in Fullerton, just off the 91 freeway. Go to OceanSubaruOC.com. That's OceanSubaruOC.com. Ocean Subaru of Fullerton, where every journey starts with love.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
Hey guys, it's Cap. Here's the scenario. Your home is flooded and the damage is severe. Now it feels like your insurance company is turning on you. They won't approve a replacement living arrangement, and the adjuster leaves you in the lurch. Take a breath and call Avner Gatt, one of Southern California's largest public adjuster firms. Avner Gatt knows how to fight back when your insurance company makes you feel like a criminal, leaving you with no hope of getting into your home and getting it all back together. With decades of experience and a passion for helping people, Avner and his family take the call themselves. So whether you have a toilet overflow, a broken water line, a burst supply line, a broken fire sprinkler, whatever the water damage is, you call Avner Gatt today at 818-917-5256, or you go to avnergatt.com. It's 818-917-5256 or avnergatt.com. You call, Avner answers, he says hello.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their one-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and...
All right, reminder, double down with Cappy at the 10 Grand Blackjack Tournament, June 6th at Park West Bicycle Casino. Sonato and Cap will broadcast live from 3 to 6, so join them and check in for the tournament. Say double down with Cappy at the Player Rewards Desk for free entry into the tournament. Reserve your spot now at ESPNLA.com. Mike, you and I have seen many, many playoff series. In hockey, they do a thing called a handshake line, where at the end of the series, no matter how hard – the great thing about hockey players is they'll try and take each other's heads off for 3 hours. And then you can see these two guys sitting next to each other in a bar after the game having a drink. And one of the reasons is they leave it all on the ice. Once the series is over, they each line up and they all shake hands. And everybody thinks that it's just it's a politically correct, be nice, do things. But Peter DeBoer, who is the head coach of the Dallas Stars, was mic'd up when they knocked Winnipeg out of the playoffs a couple of nights ago. Listen to how grateful DeBoer is and how nice he is to the team he just knocked out. This runs 48 seconds, but this is him talking not to players on his team, talking to players on the other team, the team he just eliminated. Listen to this.
So sorry, Shife.
Thank you.
Hey, your dad would have been so proud of you tonight. How you playing, he would have been.
Thank you. I appreciate the job, man.
Jenner, great job, man.
Go get yourself a cup, man.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Thank you. Good
Thank
job,
you.
Cole. You're playing a
Good
great
luck.
year, eh, man?
Thank you. Good luck. I'm rooting for you.
Good job. Hey, thanks, buddy. Great job. Great job, guys. Hey, you had a great year, man. Played great. Hal, love you, buddy.
Love you too. Good luck, man.
Played great.
Thank you.
What a goalie.
Thank you.
Awesome,
Thank
man.
you. Win it for us.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Oh,
Jenny,
let's go.
thanks, buddy.
Good luck next round.
What a job you guys did. Unbelievable. What a job you guys did. You guys did such a good job.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
Arnie, Coach of the Year, man.
Do
You
me
did
a
an
favor. Go
unbelievable
get
job.
the cup, all right? Go get the cup, please.
How cool is that? That he literally has been, for 2 weeks, obsessed with beating that team's brains out. And when it's over, I know it's corny. I know that it's not for everybody. Michael always talks about how he likes it when there's chippiness and how the teams don't like each other. But they do that after every hockey playoff series, no matter what. Should other sports do it?
Well, the pageantry of it just works better in hockey in part because of the guys kind of like on the skates and they're sort of veering towards each other. Now the coach,
they're all sweaty messes.
Yeah, the coach obviously doesn't have skates on. They do this in the NBA sort of, but it's much more ad hoc.
Right.
Like you know, there's certain
like it's
guys,
not required and it's not tradition.
and it's not one. The thing about the pageantry of it, where it's the lines, right? In which is what you do in youth sports. Like my boys had a game this weekend. Same thing. You line up, even at 4 years old. And so Riggs is going back, and the Dodgers played the Mets in the final game of the season. They go by now. The head coach isn't necessarily saying the same thing to 4-year-olds. One thing that I heard when I was listening right there. So DeBoer has to be Canadian, first of all. So that's where part of. So you get part of the niceness and the politeness that's stereotypically there. And then I just did a quick wiki search. Like, this guy was not a former star of a player. He was a minor league player for like 7 years. Worked his way up. Has been in multiple places. So you can tell he's kind of a salt of the earth, old time, loves the game, hockey guy. So like that does make sense to me that you would hear him speak in that way. But I don't think it's corny or cheesy at all, especially since it's so genuine. And I do think that there's this different kind of vibe with hockey players, and it's different from the NBA in part, John, because all of these I shouldn't say all, most of these players, it's not exactly a glorious you're the star of stars when you're growing up, going through the hockey minor leagues, getting your teeth smashed in literally.
Right.
You're not making a ton, like up until the point you get to the NHL. And in fact, I think this is actually, the NFL is more like this than people might think. Like most NFL players are not stars growing up. They may be great athletes, but they're not necessarily up until they get to the point of now that NAL money is involved.
Right.
Maybe that changes a little bit.
How about this?
But NBA is a little
DeMarco
different.
wasn't even drafted. Started 100 games in the NFL and he wasn't drafted.
Yeah, and I mean, so that'll happen some in the NBA, but just be like the scarcity of jobs, and I think that's part of it. Like, and the attention that you're going to get as an NBA player is different from some of these sports, and certainly in the NHL. So I think that plays into it as well. With sort of we're all in this together. We've got here. We're happy to be here as a collective. Yes, we just kind of beat the crap out of each other, but I don't know if you've ever been into a fight, even if a verbal one, could be with your brother. Like, when you do get done with that fight, there is some sort of like sigh. You know, there's some sort of relief. Hopefully you didn't hit each other in the face. Maybe it's a little harder after that.
Does it sound like this? Luke Robitaille?
A little bit.
Yeah. All right. Last thing before we get to Game of Games, because I saw this story and it made me think of you. How many pairs of tennis shoes, like Nikes, do you own roughly?
Yeah, a lot. I would say, probably roughly 75 to 100.
Okay, I think Funches is like you. He has a lot like that.
Yeah.
Tom Brady told a great story this week. He says he has a friend that plays golf with Michael Jordan. So Brady asked the friend, he goes, God, I love Jordan shoes. I love Air Jordans. Find out how I could, get the ones I can never find. So his friend says, what size do you wear? And Brady says, I'm a 13. He goes, MJ is a 13. And he goes, really? He goes, yeah, I'll say something to him. So Brady forgets about it. And at his house, they both have places in Florida. Jordan sent Brady 120 pairs of Air Jordans. 120. I get excited. Cappy gave me one pair of Skechers, and I was like genuinely excited.
Yeah, getting free stuff is great.
Right,
in
but
general.
120 pairs of shoes. I don't think you or I could fit those in our current houses. What would we do if 120?
I'd find a way to fit them.
Yeah, you find a way.
Look, maybe this is just because I'm in a terrible mood. Okay, I'm going to go the other way on this one. Tom Brady could just go on any StockX, whatever, and he could buy all of the rare ones that he could
all
find
about the
with
swag,
with
man.
the money that is in the console of his car. Okay, so I don't want to hear about Tom Brady getting 120 boxes of fresh Jordans from Mike himself. But since I'm going to try not to be such a curmudgeon and such a downer today, despite my team just disintegrating in front of me in my favorite sport, I will give credit to Michael Jordan. And because the whole reason that I think shoes are cool in the first place is because of him. So a story where he's being magnanimous, even if it's for Tom Brady, it's not like he doesn't give any of them to charity. He does. So I will try to get over the whole Tom Brady, like talk about a guy that doesn't need any good fortune coming his way and just got some more.
I just want to know what I would do with 120 pairs of shoes. I don't even know where I'd put them.
You come on, stick him in the Idaho home. I bet you got an extra room there.
We'd throw them in the garage, I guess.
New fit every day.
Laura, what is the
Pepe's
Game
got
of
like 200
Games
pairs of shoes.
score right now?
So you are leading the month with 6. I have 4 as of yesterday. We have Trudell on the board with 1. We have Brian on the board with 2. We have Bergman and DeAndre also with 1.
Okay, so
I feel like you need to do this based on percentages, okay, not totals, for those of us that aren't on every day.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Well, Brian can't win today, but Laura has been like a racehorse chasing me. At one point, what was it? I ahead of you 6-1?
6-1.
And now it's 6-4.
I won 3 times in a row.
Yeah, Laura is dominating Game of Games, but Brian's game today, these are always fun, and we will tackle it next. Is Cappy going to play? Is he him running around here someplace?
If I can find him, yes.
Okay. Game of Games next. Trudell in for Mason in Ireland, ESPN LA.
Celebrate 1 year of Legends Attic with Travis and DeMarco live May 30th. Iconic legends like Steve Sachs, Jaime Jarrín, Peter O'Malley. Legends Attic giveaways, live art with Dave Holbrecht, and see the ball from Freddie Freeman's unforgettable Game 1 Granny. It's all happening at Legends Attic, 619 West Foothill Boulevard in Claremont. Tickets at legendsattic.com.
The fun way to drive home is with Sedano and Cap.
Weekdays after Mason in Ireland.
I once ran into Cap in Vegas.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Remember that?
Nope.
Yeah, we were there for a one-nighter.
Wait a minute, what, Cap, you really don't remember?
I saw him in the lobby of the Bellagio.
Social media team, there you go.
I think he was still doing like the late night with Cap show.
Cappy After Dark?
Yes,
Really?
I think so.
Sedano and Cap is next at 3 p.m.
On 710 ESPN.
Your next Subaru is waiting for you at Subaru of Glendale. Check this out. Lease a new 2025 Subaru Crosstrek.
Hey guys, double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double Down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats, so lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at espnla.com.
Mover trains begin rolling early next year as part of LAX's ongoing investments to transform and improve your travel journey. The People Mover trains will quickly move guests between their terminals and our new consolidated rental car center, metro trains and buses, economy parking, and Kiss and Fly lot. The trains will make it simple and fast to get to your LAX destination in 10 minutes or less, and trains depart every 2 minutes beginning in early 2026. Learn more at lawa.org/ESPN.
This just in, the NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Looking for all things black and gold? Tap into LAFC Plus, hosted by Dave Denholm and Mario Ruiz.
This is LAFC Plus. He's Mario Ruiz. I'm Dave Denholm.
React to the latest match. Get ready for the upcoming game. Get exclusive interviews. Plus, a look around the rest of the MLS.
This is what LA is about. Not just being in the big games, but also winning.
New episodes of LAFC Plus drop weekly. Available everywhere you get your podcasts and on the ESPN LA app.
710 ESPN.
And it is time for Game of Games on the #1 sports radio show in LA, Mason and Ireland.
Game of Games.
Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, no Mace today, but we are amply covered. Mike Trudell sitting in for him, and Brian Cohen's game today. 4 players. Laura Romo, Mike Trudell, me, and Scott Kaplan, who we welcome to the program in studio, Cappy.
Hello,
2 days
gentlemen.
in a row.
Yes, sir.
God
That's
bless
exactly
you.
right.
Brian, what do we got today?
All right, so this one took me a little while to kind of come up with. Was stumped, so I came up with a weird word game kind of deal. So these are weird English words that I have never heard of.
Don't oversell it.
Weird word kind
Weird
of deal.
words that Brian has never heard.
So you gotta find the definition here. See if you guys know
Oh,
these
man,
words.
I'm
All right,
screwed.
got it.
Is your vocabulary better than mine?
Okay.
Mine isn't.
All right, number 1. What does zarf mean?
How do you
Zarf.
spell it?
Z-A-R-F.
Okay.
To vomit unexpectedly, a cardboard sleeve for a coffee cup, a cardboard shield for live action role playing.
Laura, what does zarf mean?
I have no clue, but I'm going with the live action whatever.
Role playing.
Thank you.
Role
That.
playing.
Can't
Trudell?
even speak.
Yeah, live action role play.
Cappy?
Going with the barfing thing.
I'm going with Cap. I think it's barfing.
Nobody. It is a cardboard sleeve around your coffee cup.
Really? So if you go to Starbucks, you go, yo, where are the zarfs?
Right.
Seriously?
We'll see if they know it too. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
If
Never
they
heard
get it,
that.
I'll give them a good tip.
Fail.
I don't know where did you search that?
All right, number 2. What does agog mean? A-G-O-G. Agog. Very eager to hear something, all talk, no action, or the color you turn when you're frightened.
Trudell.
All talk, no action.
Cappy.
Whatever B was. What was
All
B?
talk, no action.
Oh, it was?
I'll go the color you turn when you what?
When you're frightened.
All right, color you turn when you're frightened. Laura?
Okay, so I wanted to go B, but I need to make a play here, and I'll go A.
And you're happy you did.
Yeah!
Very eager to see somebody.
Okay.
Oh, really?
All right,
That's
Laura's
how I
on
feel about
Is
Mike
that- is
today.
that an
I'm
abbreviation?
Agog.
Yeah, Laura is a gog with the lead. Yeah. All right, what's the
All right,
next
what
one?
does ratoon mean? Ratoon. R-A-T-O-O-N. A new sprout from a plant, a uncontrollable ritualistic dance, or to cut and thrust with rusted knives.
What?
Cappy?
Knives.
That's awfully weird to have made up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with the knives as well. Laura?
I'll go with the roots because of ratoon.
Okay, Mike?
Knives.
Laura again.
Wow.
It is the roots of a plant.
You realize if she wins,
right,
it's 4 in a row.
I
don't
need
know
this
if anybody's
win.
ever won 4 in a row. All right, what's next, Brian?
What does collie wobbles mean? Collie
What the-
wobbles. Is it a tremble or quiver in your voice, feeling of nauseous or nervousness, or the motion of rocking back and forth on the ocean?
This one's me. I'll say it's the emotion of rocking back and forth on the ocean. Laura?
Collie wobbles. What was B, Bray?
Feeling nervous or
That one. I'll go with that.
Mike?
Nervousness.
Cap?
What was the A one? What was the first one?
A tremble or quivers of the voice.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
It is B, nervousness.
Oh, man.
Did Laura get that again?
Yes, I did.
You got it too, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Wow, and fire.
Come
And
on, Mike.
fuego.
All right, now, Cappy, you and I right now have the, it's in Ireland
Yeah.
if you come up scoreless. You and I are both scoreless so far in this game. All right, Brian, what's next?
What does popple mean? Popple. P-O-P-P-L-E.
Okay.
Is it the rolling or rippling of water? The activity runners do when they change between sprinting and jogging? A person who plagiarized art.
Laura.
A, whatever A was. I don't even remember.
What is it?
Rolling or ripping of water.
Sure, that.
Okay, Mike.
I feel like if you're just guessing like that, Laura, are we giving you credit if you get it right? I feel like, yeah. Okay,
I'm
all right.
literally guessing like that.
She's up
I
3
kind
to
of want to. You're
nothing.
getting everything right. I was going to say that one, but then you said you didn't know what it was. All right, I'm saying the water one too.
Cap.
What was C?
A person who plagiarized art.
Yeah, it's me. I'm taking that.
What's B?
The activity runners do when they change
I'll
between
take that
sprinting and running. You should have taken A. It is the rolling or rippling of water.
What the hell is happening? Can you
Let-
see
let
his
me-
screen?
Let me tell you what's happening. Let
That's
me-
when you know
John,
you're hot. She didn't even know what it was.
Let me
and
tell
she
you
got
what's
it.
really
happening.
don't.
There's a pattern happening here.
What did George say? Swag system when he would win?
There's a pattern here. Every answer has been A.
I don't think
That
that's
is
true.
incorrect.
How many of them have been A?
That's not true.
I'll bet you the last 3 or 4 of them have all been A.
No.
No, there were
3
some
have
B's.
been A.
3 of how many?
5.
5.
A 5.
Pattern.
You have no pattern.
Pattern.
Idiot.
Pattern.
Brian, go
3.
next. How many are left?
I got
Cap.
3 left.
3 left.
Cap,
I'm out.
The pattern is Laura gets them right,
Cap,
you get
the
them
only
wrong.
reason you and I get to still play is because we haven't got any right
You
yet.
suck.
Trudell, you're our
So
only
you're
hope.
saying there's a chance.
All right, what is it, Brian?
What does the word puggle mean? Puggle. A dog that is a mix of a beagle and pug, a pair of struggles that happen simultaneously, or a horn used to announce danger.
Laura.
I'm going to go with the dog one.
Mike?
It's the dog one.
I'm also going with the dog one. Cappy?
No, I'm going with C.
Should have went with the dog one. That was A. Again.
See, A.
I
See,
used to
I
have
told
a
you.
dog one.
I told you
Then why
there's a
don't you
pattern.
test your system?
Because I already am getting destroyed. But the thing is,
Now
is that
listen, Cap, you're
Yeah.
alive.
For the Kaplan.
You're alive for the Cappy. You will dethrone me if you miss these last
Which
2.
one's
so
the Cappy?
You should
Get 'em all
try
wrong?
and
Get
miss
'em all
them.
wrong.
Do you
Get 'em
try
all
to
wrong.
get them
I'm
all?
not
right
trying.
Now,
Oh,
right
okay.
now, it's the Ireland.
yeah,
All
I'm
right.
not trying.
Brian,
All right,
2
2
left?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
What does cabotage mean? Cabotage. Someone who is afraid of finishing something, how a room is decorated, or the transport of goods between 2 places in the same country.
Cabotage. Cap?
C.
I also think it's C.
Say the first one again.
Someone who is afraid of finishing something.
Laura, you have to go next because Trudeau has a chance to catch you.
Okay, what is B?
How a room is decorated.
Sure, I'll go with that.
So you have to go either A or C, Mike.
Well,
A.
I think it's the one that Laura just
Well,
said.
but if you do, you're out. There's only one left, and you're 2 down.
I have a hard time saying something I don't believe, John.
Do it.
Fine. A.
Should have went C with the guys.
Hey!
Transportation and goods.
All I knew was not to go with Cappy.
Yes.
Why would I go with Cappy?
Cabotage.
Your first
Why
C
would
answer.
Yeah.
Laura,
First
you
C
just
of the
won
game.
I
again.
won.
I'm okay. Well, you got one more in a tiebreaker. Let's play him.
I do, yeah.
Let's play him for fun.
What does the word whiffler mean? Whiffler.
Whiffler.
A person who considers himself a professional wiffle ball player, a person who makes wooden bird whistles, or a person who frequently changes course.
Laura.
Honestly, all those make sense for whatever that word is. I'm going to go C, the person that changes courses or whatever.
Cap.
I'm going to go with A professional wiffle ball player.
I
That's a good
agree
one.
with Cap. Trudell.
And what was B?
A person who makes wooden bird whistles.
Yeah, let's do the bird whistles.
It is a frequently changing course. It is C.
Did you miss any?
I did. I missed one and whatever the
And
last
now
one.
it's 6-5.
It was, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
And you've won 4 days in a row.
Yeah.
What the hell
serious
is
streak.
happening around
It's
here?
a serious streak.
Thank you, Puerto Rico.
Loser streak.
What does Puerto Rico have to do with anything?
I came
She
relaxed,
lost
man.
since she came back from Puerto Rico.
Uh-huh.
Came back engaged, huh?
No engagement. No engagement.
Ain't no ring on this finger.
Ain't no ring on this finger
All
yet.
right, Brian,
Wow.
what's the
Yet.
tiebreaker?
Tiebreaker for you. The longest word in English refers to a lung disease caused by inhaling very fine quartz.
Very fine what?
Quartz. You know, like
Okay.
the stone, like a hippie. Quartz.
Quartz.
Oh,
All right.
quartz.
Quartz. Yeah,
Q-U-R-T-Z.
Yes, exactly.
Not like courts, like tennis courts.
Right.
What
Good job,
is-
Cap.
What is the tiebreaker question?
How many letters make up this word? The longest word in English.
Wow.
All right.
Say it one more time. The word.
Longest word.
I did not pronounce the word because I don't know how to
Yeah,
pronounce it. It's
that's
45 letters long.
Wait,
many-
oh, you just gave it
Oh,
away.
I
Come on, BC. How many letters?
45.
What's the word?
Good thing we didn't need it.
Pneumonia ultra microscolysis volcanonosis.
Oh, that word.
Yeah, that one.
There's a word called.
You know that word?
There's a word called sesquipedalious. I heard it at the National Spelling Bee, and it's someone like Howard Cosell was very sesquipedalious. It's someone that uses an overabundance of large words for no reason. That game was very sesquipedalious, Brian, but
Sure
still
was.
very good. Laura, what do you have to say? What has caused this turnaround?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know. I think for me, it's more like I don't give a bleep. I'm just going to go with whatever I think it is. And that's what's been working for me. So.
I have a friend, Cappy, that him and I have. Oh, Beto will like the story. Beto just walked in.
Wait, goodies.
Him and I.
Beto brought me and him lunch, but he's like
Wow.
54 minutes late.
He brought a lot of lunch.
I'm going to get him.
But Cap, you'll like this story.
Oh, then I'm not going to get him.
I got you, better. I got you.
We have switched to playing. We normally play blue tees when we play golf.
Right.
We have switched to playing gold tees, which are harder.
Oh, you're moving back.
Harder. Yeah, longer.
Right.
Our scores have gone down.
Really?
For the last 2 weeks.
Really? You
Our
guys are
handicaps,
playing.
our scores. We're playing better from farther away.
Is that because your second shot is further and you
He
have?
says.
Who's he?
My friend Patrick.
Okay.
He says it's because he doesn't give a crap.
Oh, he's just letting
it
rip.
He just said, I just relaxed and let it and swing freely, and now I'm hitting the ball.
Wow.
So if you're struggling in golf, there's a backwards tip. Go to the back tees.
Up until the point
Good
where
idea.
you start struggling again the next week.
Right. Well,
Get that.
I've got to play on the blue tees for money on Saturday. So
Okay.
that's when I'll play back.
What time are you playing on Saturday?
6:45 a.m.
Wow.
You're going to be there?
No,
Yeah.
I am playing Saturday morning, though. You'll love this. You ready for this? So my son and my daughter are both super into golf now.
Okay.
And I had this thought about golf for years, like, oh, too much time. You go to the course and you play and you get done. You have a beer, you drive home. Like, it just takes 6 hours. It's too much. But now that my kids are into it, I want that 6 hours, right?
Right.
So my kids were like, Dad, come on, we got to play Torrey Pines. We got to play Torrey Pines.
Which is often a 6-hour round, but it's spectacular.
But it's super hard to get onto.
Yes, it is.
And if you don't
but you have a city card, right?
I do not.
You live in San Diego County.
County, not city.
You need a city card.
You need a residence card for the city. You know how much it costs for a
If you have a
round-
residence card, it's like $50, right?
on a Saturday, $88.
That's great.
You know how much it is for a non-resident?
Like probably
500.
$400.
$306.
Yeah.
So this is like killing me. That I'm going to have to pay for this.
You can go to Kendrick
what are you
Lamar for
talking
that.
about? You need to Hey King one of your San
I
Diego buddies.
hate King, the city golf manager. The city golf manager got me the tee time. But I didn't.
But then he hit you with 306.
But I didn't. Well, I haven't paid for it yet. So like when I get there, like it could make my whole day. Where they're like, "Oh no, we got you."
Take somebody that lives in San Diego
That's what
City
Beto told me to do.
and then check in and then go play.
That's what Beto said.
Yeah.
Beto said have somebody else go check in, and then they go to the carts, and then that guy leaves, and I jump in. But I just don't have the guts to do that.
What are you talking about? You've been doing that your whole life.
Well, that
I was with you 2 weeks ago at Beach Life. You just followed me right in without a wristband.
Oh, dude, I walked into everything at Beach Life without a wristband. Everything.
Wait,
the difference?
why didn't you tell me? I would have done that.
Go to a Beach Life?
No, I would have done it without paying for it.
Oh, dude, I went into at Beach Life. I told John, they had these really cool like cabanas.
Yeah, like the VIP type tent.
And there were only like 10 of them, right?
Open bar.
So yeah, so on
Cap was
Saturday,
just holding court.
So on Saturday, Rachel and I go in there, and she's
Hey,
like, well,
guys, it's
she
me, Cappy.
She goes, we can't get in there. I go, just stay close and let me do all the talking. So we wind up going in, and we go upstairs.
Hold on, can I be a security guard?
Sure.
Okay. Just so come up to me. Oh, hey, sir, do you have a wristband?
Yeah, right here. And I pick my arm up just like this, and they're like, okay, go ahead.
And you had no wristband. You had long sleeves
Right.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Act like you've been
Wait,
there before.
What? That's it? That's the
Right
hack?
there, Mike. I'm in.
See, I could never do that.
So we go upstairs. We go to these cabanas. There's 10 of them or so, right? And they're occupied with people who paid and invited guests and so on. Now, when we are hosting at the 710 suite during Lakers games, you guys are busy, so you don't see this. But a lot of times people will come into our suite, and we don't know who they are. And so we'll always say
They could be freeloading.
Right, but we'll say to people like, hey, how
Don't
you
you
doing?
have to scan a ticket to get in the door?
Well, let's just say the door's open.
Okay.
Okay.
And it often is.
And people will come in and we'll be like, hey, what's your connection here? And they'll be, oh, I'm a client of so-and-so, or hey, I'm with this company and they got us. Great. Okay. There's a legitimate answer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And none of us ever question, like, let me see your ticket. So I found a suite that day at Beach Life where there was nobody in it. Nobody other than the bartender. So I walked in. I said, Rachel, this is the suite we belong in. So we go in, and we're watching John's friend. What's the guy's name? Mark from what's the name of the group?
Mark McGrath.
Mark McGrath.
Sugar Ray.
We're watching Sugar Ray, right? And we're up there, and she and I are dancing. We're having a great time. There's nobody in the suite.
Every morning.
Right. All of a sudden, people start coming into the suite. They start coming in. I say, how you guys doing?
Hey,
Nice to
welcome
meet you.
welcome
Scott
to the suite.
Kaplan.
I introduce myself. My
course.
name, my girlfriend's name. I introduce myself. Hey, what do you do? What do you do? Blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, we're exchanging LinkedIn information. We're like, oh, hey, you know what? I'm involved with that. I can help you with that. Oh, great. Like, give me your number. I mean, next thing you know, I am friends with everybody. And not one person was like, how'd you get in here? Like, what are you doing here? Like, do you know the guy who's sweet? No, nobody cares.
All you got to do is act like you've been there before.
You got to act like you belong.
I mean,
By the way, we both saw Lenny. We were there together to see Lenny Kravitz. Completely stoned out of his mind. When he had to talk, he couldn't put two sentences together. But when he put the speaking microphone down and started playing guitar, he's perfect.
Oh, when you said stoned and completely out of his mind, I thought you were talking about me. My bad. My bad.
That too. All right, coming up next, Supercross Talk, ESPN LA.
ESPN LA is black and gold. Follow LAFC on the quest for trophies all season long. Every match, every pass, every goal.
Oh, Olivier! He drops to his knees and implores the heavens.
The home of LAFC is 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Hey, it's Mace. Did you know Goodwill Southern California is more than just amazing thrift finds? They're transforming lives with job training, career placement, and support services for veterans, youth, and individuals overcoming barriers to employment. Every donation and purchase fuels these life-changing programs. For more on how you can help, go to powerofwork.goodwillsocal.org. That's powerofwork.goodwillsocal.org. Brought to you by GSC Verizon Skill Forward.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their one-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
Online social casino. Play anytime, anywhere for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Head to ChumbaCasino.com and let's Chumba.
No purchase necessary. Must be 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason in Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk, presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You're waiting for someone to say woo, woo, woo? Yeah, without Mason here. So, people respond. Did you guys watch Shooting Guards on Netflix?
I watched some of it.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, so Worthy Splash is coming at me. He says that I said they both pulled guns on each other. I thought that's what happened. And he said that's not what happened.
Well, I think
didn't Arenas come into the
I thought
locker
he set
room
them
and
down.
put guns down and said, "Here you go, have at it."
I thought he set them down. I don't think Crittenden had guns necessarily in there, but
Well,
I don't
Crittenden
remember.
went to jail for something else.
That was somebody got shot or he was
It was
fired
in
a
case
bullet
he was and it hit him as somebody that was an innocent bystander.
So that was a different
and that
situation,
was it.
but I don't think
I gotta go back and watch it again. I thought that was the whole point of the whole thing.
I thought I thought there were some exchanges, and then Gilbert came in and he brought the guns into the facility and he set them down. But I don't know that Crittenden
They
had
actually
guns there.
physically pulled the gun to each other.
I don't think so.
By the way, if you watch that on Netflix, they get everybody involved. Nick Young's in it. But they get Gilbert, they get Javar. Javar's out of jail. They get him. A big part of that is how he got out of jail. It had something to do with the fact that Dwight Howard's uncle was the prosecutor. Or maybe the chief of police. I'm not sure. But it's interesting. You guys should
Is
watch
this the same series that they're doing? Because I think last night came out the new Brett Favre thing.
Yeah, same thing. It's called Untold.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I mean the reviews have been like off the charts so far about how they go
the Brett Favre thing.
Yeah, like super. Like somebody today called it like not a smear campaign, but like just how they went really, really deep on Brett Favre and how it's not a good thing for Brett. Like it's going to come out really bad.
Yeah, apparently Jen Sturger is a big part of it. The girl who was working for the Jets that he made a pass at while he was the quarterback of the Jets. It apparently does not shed a very positive life on him.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so how did it go yesterday, Cap, when you ended Sedano and Cap?
Yep.
The radio station went to the OKC game, the OKC Minnesota game, and you guys continued on YouTube. How was it?
It was fine. It was totally fine, as a matter of fact. I would even say it actually was better than fine. Mostly because like we were no longer bound by the radio, and it's not like we were cursing up a storm or anything. We just
more loose,
very loose, very casual. Didn't have to worry about commercial breaks. You know,
but are we programming against what we have on the air?
Well, that's George's point. George's point is exactly that. That if we end the show at 5:30, like today, for example, we're going to end the show at 5. And at 5 o'clock, ESPN Radio's presentation of the Eastern Conference Finals is going to happen between the Knicks and the Pacers. So rather than just saying to everybody, hey, have a nice day, we'll talk to you tomorrow, go enjoy the game, now people will have the choice of either watching and listening to the game, but for people that are theoretically uninterested in the game, which I'm sure there are some people out there, now we actually have the show that goes on, but it's only on YouTube and on the app. So what do you think about this? With this counter program? Not a fan, huh?
No, I'm with George.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're like you want people to listen to the game, but I mean, I guess, maybe it's to protect sponsors. Like maybe they can, if we air some spot. But did you have spots?
I don't think we did spots during the 30 minutes yesterday on YouTube. We might do them today. I don't know. I haven't looked to see what happens during the hour. But you see, Christopher Arthur Morales, as he's known, he has been pushing on this.
So are you guys going to do that for Laker games next year?
Well, so here's the thing. So Chris.
That's what I don't want.
Yeah, so Chris, he's been pushing it as if it's his idea. And then once anybody complains about it, Then he blames it on Craig Karmazin, the owner of Good Karma Brands. So Chris kind of pushes it like, hey, we're doing this. I'm telling you this is what we're doing. And then when George complains and kvetches, that is when Chris no longer takes responsibility for a concept.
That's an experienced manager right there, Chris
Very,
Morales.
very experienced.
So you didn't even watch the game last night.
Oh, no, I did.
You had one eye on the game and one eye on the show?
Well, the first 30 minutes game probably started a little after 5:30. And then me, Chris, and Beto Duran, who brought these incredible tacos from Jalisco's Mariscos, the truck down in the Fashion District that has these incredible fried shrimp tacos. So me and Beto and Chris went down to the Dog downstairs here at LA Live, Lazy Dog.
Okay.
And we were watching the game there. But I will say, like, when you're watching a game in a restaurant or a bar and the volume's not up, you're not getting the full television viewing experience. What do you think, Michael?
No, I mean I agree. I was at a small gathering last night with some guys I don't get to see too often, and so the game was on in the background, low volume. But I felt like, okay, early on I kind of went over I'm watching it, but I don't want to be rude. Oh, thank you, Beto.
Yeah.
Wow,
See that?
that's terrific.
See?
Wow.
See?
Yeah.
Manchester
City, baby.
See way. Comado.
See, Michael saw my taco, Beto, and he was like, "Oh, I want that."
And this is all from Lazy Dog, Beto?
No,
Hold on. Is this
the truck? Mariscos.
Oh, Mariscos Jaliscos.
Is this
Okay.
shrimp?
Shrimp.
Well, so if
don't eat shrimp.
yeah,
He
look,
doesn't
if
eat
Michael
shrimp.
if
I'll
Michael
take those.
Thompson wants to pay me, then
Yeah,
I would
that's
consider eating it.
That's
But
it.
Ireland might eat that. But
No,
thank you very much
I'm
for the
good, Beto.
generous gesture.
But thank
Beto.
you.
Point being,
Beto,
Cappy,
have a seat. Sit down.
I had to go back and watch it late, like when I got home at 11 on the NBA. I got the NBA app, so I watched it back after because I wasn't able to focus while I was with my buddies. You know what I'm
Beto,
saying?
answer this question any way you want. Lisa asked me last night, where is the best taco in Los Angeles?
Oh, depends on what you're gonna get. On the other side of the 405 for
Doesn't
you
matter.
guys.
You answer any way you want.
In Manhattan Beach, there's a couple of good spots that opened up. I think I sent you a list one time.
Yeah.
In Hermosa, there's a good spot. But it depends on what you get. But you got to go. Anytime you see a line, John.
Yeah.
There's a line.
You know I
it's
hate
good.
lines.
Yeah, but it's worth it. That's why you go and you take me. I'll get to the front. You circle around.
Perfect.
And we jump on in.
Okay, so I just Googled this. I Googled what happened between Gilbert Arenas and Javaris Crittenden.
Oh, it's on Netflix. Really, really good.
No, I saw it, and everyone's hammering me. They say, why is Ireland saying they pulled guns on each other? That's good, because I watched it, and I thought that's what happened. AI overview. Gilbert Arenas and Javaris Crittenden, both with the Wizards, engaged in a locker room incident where they pulled guns on each other after a heated dispute.
I think it didn't say that Javar.
The incident stemmed from a disagreement over a card game, with Arenas pocketing money he allegedly owed Crittenden. But there's these guys on Twitter saying, no, that's not what happened.
No, that Gilbert took those guns that he had from his collection and he left them on his chair, and he's like, "Which one are you going to use?" That's where.
Yeah.
that's
So
what
they
Gilbert-
didn't actually pick up the guns
they
and
didn't.
point them at each other?
No.
Just because, I don't. Google
He
AI
took
isn't
'em.
always accurate.
Gilbert said he took the
There was
guns-
no
Yeah.
showdown. Where here's
No,
I'm
no.
facing you with my gun and vice versa. I think
That
they
was
just
really
put
well
them on the
done.
table.
Well, are you telling me AI is sometimes inaccurate?
I mean,
that destroys
you know,
my
look,
world.
You know who was really good in that? Hazard, Rashid Hazard.
Yeah.
he got emotional in that. That was really, really good.
Because Rashid was was working with the Lakers back then when
He was
they
player development.
drafted Crittenden,
Yeah.
so he worked with them a little bit.
That was sad.
What do you guys expect?
Tacos are amazing. What's in those besides like
Shrimp,
there's-
fried shrimp. That's
no,
all
but
it
there's
is.
got to be more. There's
That's all
others.
it is.
Nah, there's
It's
something else in
Jonathan
there.
Gold, the late Johnny Gold would always go there. Gold, like fantastic. Chrissy Teigen would hire them out. Like they're popular. There's 3 trucks in right there.
There's
Got
something else in there though.
The chile.
No, I don't know what else.
It's fascinating. this
Sauce.
guy.
I mean, salsa.
That
you know,
red sauce that's on
like,
top.
you know,
That's it. You like my
Okay.
shirt, Trudell?
Captain and
Captain
crew.
and crew.
I'm in charge of the Cappy's merchandise. DeAndre has a Padre color one.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you need merch, I got you. Because I had no job. I've decided to become Beto Marketing, so I'm going to do all.
Well, you have no job. Did people stop boxing?
No, well, that's every couple weeks.
Yeah.
The Lakers every day. Because I was hoping to work through May.
Oh, you,
Right.
you,
Yeah.
me, and Trudell.
Right. Lakers let you down.
For real.
Yeah, Trudell let me
Cost you a
down.
lot of money.
Yeah,
Who do you think wins tonight? Knicks or Pacers?
I think the Knicks.
I do too. Trudell thinks the Pacers might win. What do you think, Cap?
I'm rooting for the Pacers, and I don't know, I kind of like the Pacers in the series.
I like the Pacers in the series, but I think the Knicks tonight with all the emotion that they got going, and Ben Lyons, he's going to root them on really hard.
Yeah, I think Indy wins game 1, but I'm kind of talking myself into the Knicks finding a way to still win the series. But I worry that Indy's going to wear the Knicks down.
I think Carlisle, that's going to be a big factor. Tibbs is good. I like Tibbs. I think Carlisle has that knowledge, that experience, and he's
Well,
always just
Carla
so-
is the only coach left that has won before.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys something real quick, Dodger-wise. I know we got to go in a second, but Yamamoto, underrated. Like people don't realize how good this dude is. You saw him last night, one hitter,
Almost threw a
ridiculous,
no-hitter.
filthy
Yeah.
stuff, and I think part of it's Ohtani. Ohtani gets a lot of the shine as well. He should, but like Yamamoto is coming, Cappy.
I mean, he's the ace of the staff, and there's no doubt about it. I mean, everybody's gotten hurt. Blake Snell's hurt, and Glass now's hurt, and Kershaw's trying to make a comeback.
Shohei obviously hasn't gone yet.
Sasaki is hurt, and right.
The whole
Ohtani
team's
hasn't.
hurt.
Ohtani hasn't
Everybody who
pitched
can
yet.
pitch is hurt.
The whole
Right.
bullpen's hurt. Yeah.
Right. So I mean,
Are you a baseball guy now, Trudeau?
I now watch the Dodgers every night. In the while the NBA season is in full flow, I watch like maybe 2 or 3 games a